welcome everyone. You are listening to it, perhaps watching Calling the Audible. I'm your host for this week, Pease Delarice. Joining me in studio is Iggy Magnets. How's it going, Iggs?
Good, sir.
Perhaps starting the show by eating is a poor decision, especially since it took me 25 minutes to find parking and you had all that time to consume
It's
that.
a Rob Campana approved decision.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's given us shit for eating on the air before.
That's why I said it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were aware of that.
I was aware.
I don't know if it was pre-eggs.
It was pre-eggs, but you've made me aware through the inside jokes of this show.
Oh, cool. There we go.
I caught on.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's why we do them. That's what we
Yeah.
do. We try to reward the loyal listeners with inside jokes just like that. Eagle's back from Miami. You coward.
Coward.
Where are my snacks?
I'm eating one.
Yeah.
I'm back from New York.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm leaving soon. I'm going.
Cabin fever.
Yeah, I'm going. I got cabin fever in that I need to go to the cabin. Going to the to a wonderful kingdom up north. I got me thinking. So we have some friends from out of town, and we're taking them to a chalet because for one of my friends who's from Mexico, he's never seen snow before. He's never really experienced winter. All of his travels have been to.
They have a lot of snow in Mexico, though.
Not particularly.
No.
But they're also so.
Oh, you mean winter snow? Yes.
He made a joke about South Americans and drugs.
Oh.
You see,
I'm
Yeah.
tired too.
it wasn't good.
It was fine.
Yeah, a little rusty coming back from.
I mean, I was in Miami, so if there's anywhere you learn
I
about
was
it.
gonna say, if anything. I thought someone would filibuster while I was taking a sip.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
My voice was dying.
do
but
we
it's
have
okay. I guess I'm doing the show by myself today, guys.
No. Do we have any news and notes?
But no, I have a question.
Oh, you have a question first. Okay.
Because I'm not ready to start the show yet.
Okay.
So we're showing them around because they've never seen winter. So one of them has never seen winter, rather. And also like they live in a small town in Mexico, so they don't have a lot of diversity of food and stuff. So like we've been taking them to different restaurants in the city.
Any place in Mexico.
Yeah,
just
but like
you just see Mexicans and you just have Mexican corn tortilla for soup, for lunch, for breakfast, for dinner, always.
Yeah.
Yep. Continue.
And so we've been taking them around, showing them lots of different types of cuisine that we have here in Montreal. We're lucky enough to have, and we take for granted all the time.
Yep.
And of course, having never experienced winter, we booked my friend's chalet and we're going to be going there for the weekend. And we thought about bringing some board games. And it got me thinking, like everyone has board games. Two of them. There's two categories here.
Yeah.
Board games that you're remarkably good at.
Yeah.
You're the Michael Jordan of this particular board game.
Kind of like when I invite you to go bowling.
Yeah. It's the biggest dick move ever.
Yeah. I didn't bet money on it, but yes.
Yeah, you might as well like just remove one of my arms and then ask me to go bowling.
And second.
And then the second game I want to play was, what board game do you enjoy the most? And is it necessarily the same?
Right. Yep.
So
Could be.
Yeah,
often,
could be.
Often is.
yeah,
You.
well, 'cause you generally enjoy things you're
you're good at. Yes.
So I want to go around the room, get some ideas for the weekend.
We're getting. I don't know why I said we're getting. Often play the Codenames one. That's
Codename is fun.
yeah.
Codename
It's
is
actually it's pretty good. That's it gets like how many people? Because it's usually you need
we're
like
gonna
teams
be
of 4 and
8
4.
adults,
There
2
you go.
children.
4 and 4. Yeah, even kids can play. They can. They don't ruin the game per se.
We usually end up playing them when they go to bed,
Cards
anyway.
Against
or they get
Humanity.
distracted and start watching.
Cards Against
YouTube.
Humanity has kind of lost its appeal.
Sorry.
Cards Against Humanity's kind of lost
Well,
its
and that
appeal.
definitely, but we can't play when the kids are up. But and word games are tough for people who, when English is not their first language.
Maybe Eagle would say those Jack in the Box games that you connect onto with your phone.
Yeah, those are pretty fun too. And
Fibbage.
everything again, some of them have limits on how many people can actually play, but I mean those are usually
Yeah.
pretty good.
We play those with some of our friends from Georgia.
Yeah.
Because we're in different cities.
You can also like because you're 8 or 10 technically, you can also partner up and kind of play games that are like competitive, but like you can strategize as a team type of thing as well. Or you
Rather
can
than
also have,
describing games, Eagle, can you answer the question?
Name them.
I mean, it's really going to depend on what style game you want to play, right?
No, I'm
you
asking
can do
you. Like, what's a
charades.
game you dominate at, and what's your favorite board game? It's really not a complicated question.
But I'm really good at a lot of things.
Sorry?
I'm good at a lot of things. Coming up with lists
Yeah,
is not one of
Ego
them.
is high. That's right. Is there a game called Ego? Because that would be the one you
I mean,
dominate.
I'm
at.
sure there is.
And then is there one with a height limit? Because that one you wouldn't be able to play.
the roller coaster games.
Roller coaster games, yes.
Yeah. There's one
Uh,
I've been playing more recently called Fiesta de los Muertos, which is kind of like telephone,
Okay.
but with dead figures, essentially. So you get a name of someone, and you have to write something that describes them, and that goes around where the word gets transformed multiple times, and then at the end, you have to figure out what the original one was, basically.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I semi-followed that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
look, you're never going to understand a game until you go through a round,
Yes,
right? Like
yeah.
that's the whole thing. So that's the one you dominate at, or that's your favorite game?
That's one he's playing right now.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of that right now. My favorite game? Ooh, that's hard. It really depends on like what mood I'm in, because like Catan, I think I've overplayed that one way too much.
I was going to say,
Good.
that's my dominant
good
game. I
one.
have it packed for the weekend,
Yeah, that one's good.
but I don't, because I've played it so often, I don't know if it's my favorite game, because I literally haven't gone to it in years.
It's a good one. It's a good one to go back to, especially with people who know how to play.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
even
like, once
and
you
it's a
get,
game
like-
where language is not like a huge barrier and stuff. And so the other thing too is I had a board originally that one of my buddies spilled beer on, and to pay me back, he built one with a 3D printer with like the different landscapes as the actual
Oh
pieces.
shit!
But then we had to paint it, and I learned as much as I liked Catan,
Playing it.
that's how little I liked painting models, because I hated every second, and I painted one piece.
It's
And I was
supposed to be.
done.
It's supposed
I
to
haven't
be
used it-
therapeutic. That
Yeah.
those activities like that.
I
Yeah,
have
it's
this problem when I play board games with other people, in that if it's one of those cooperative games where like we all win or we all lose,
Yes.
I just take over the board
Ah.
and like strategize on people's behalf, because they're like the weak link. So it's like, I'm gonna play your turn for you, so you're gonna have fun,
Oh.
okay? And then if it's a
It's
if
gonna
it's a
sell.
that
It sounds
sounds like
like
an Eagle
it sounds
thing.
like you've lost a lot of friends along the way.
Yeah.
no, they love me. We always win. And then
Oh.
on a competitive game, I just feel bad crushing people that don't play board games often, 'cause they're like, "Oh, what does this do?" And I'm like, "Okay, my turn. I just did 40 things, and you lose."
There's a game I really do enjoy Risk, but I've never won a game of Risk. I
I've
can't.
never
do it.
finished like.
Oh well, you
I-
need like 14
6,
hours.
Yeah,
You need like 14 hours.
minimum 6.
Oh, actually, I can't tell you my favorite game. I can tell you my least favorite game, and that is Monopoly.
No, but Monopoly's great if you have to work out some family issues. If you need to just yell at your cousins, or if you need to have a big fight with your wife, that's the one. That's the one that gets it out.
I
That's what it is
ruin
about.
Monopoly for everyone because I refuse to trade any of my properties, and I leave the
yeah,
game in
I
a
know.
stalemate.
But you'll also lose if you don't trade, because it's
I
easy
know.
to gang up on the person. Who
For me,
doesn't
it's
trade.
not about winning; it's about everyone losing.
Well, no, because
hours of our
everyone can
lives.
beat you because they'll team up against you to remove you from the game.
Yes, but that's the thing; they can't do that without my properties.
They can. They use other properties, and you keep bleeding until you die. It'll take 15 hours, but you'll
Yeah.
lose.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And by
yes.
then, everyone gets bored and we go home.
Speaking of 15 hours, that was a longer conversation than I thought it would
Yeah.
be.
I tried to cut it off 5 minutes ago, but
Well, because we didn't get the answer to my question.
yes, I know.
But we got somewhat of a version of
If only one of us was sidelined.
it. So let's get started.
This is a segue, Iggy. Are we going to tell the audience or not?
Oh right.
Yeah, I was like,
I am tired. Yeah, sidelined. I
go
got
ahead.
it now. Actually, do you have it up? I sent it. Do you have it?
Do you want me to read it word for word verbatim?
Nah, no, never mind.
Then just
So Captain.
yes, actually, yes. Let's treat this as a press conference. No, this is a very important topic, and we need to
Actually,
make sure
yes.
that we have
Yes.
the version of it that went through our legal department. Iggy, please make sure you get verbatim the press release about FPF's curtains.
Wait, we got to have like some nice music in the background for this, right?
Dramatic, please.
No, I don't have dramatic.
Very good.
Safety is always our utmost priority in FPF. We are calling upon the FPF community to institute a culture change regarding how we treat the curtains between fields. Sadly, too often, players run through curtains and nets separating fields at full speed, with both hands fully extended or lower their shoulders into the divider, in order to brace themselves or stop the momentum, acting with little or no regard to what's on the other side. We ask that this assumption that there is someone on the other side and that charging the divider be avoided, even if you can see through it. On the fields with opaque curtains, you can imagine, on the other side might be players, officials, staff, or even participants, kids, or parents from another sport. Imagine if you were on the other side of the curtain, or it was your star QB, your spouse, or even your child. Would you still charge the curtain in that way? We always want to make sure everyone is safe and that no one goes home injured. We ask that you communicate to your teammates to pay particular attention when you are playing and find yourselves near the opaque curtains on field where we cannot see what's on the other side. Impacts are rare, but when they occur, the severity can be quite high, especially if the contact point is low and people are unable to brace themselves for the impact. Please cascade this message to your teams and assume that someone is always on the other side of the divider when making a play near the divider. We appreciate your concern for the safety of others. We all love the game and want to make sure everyone can participate week in and week out.
Thank you, Eagle.
Yeah. So I can't hear the music because I don't have my headset on because once again it's not working.
Still on, Biko.
Was it ridiculous music?
No, the ukulele.
Okay, so yes, it's ridiculous music, and so I just wanted to say, essentially, while we do things a little tongue in cheek on the show, it is something serious. We know that you're just trying to make a play, and that's appreciated, but do try and just be conscious. We're not really asking you to stop playing, but if there was a cement wall there, you would also not dive there head first. People have been hurt, and we want to avoid having injuries. This is a recreation league in the end, and none of us want to miss work for getting hurt in FPF, especially if it's not in the field of play. If it's really just by being a bystander, walking to the end of the field, or being a referee, or scorekeeper, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, you want your statisticians to be there the week after, to take down your stats. You want the refs to be there so you can actually get an officialized game going in the coming weeks. So that's really the nature of it. There have been players, refs who have been injured and been sidelined for a couple weeks and haven't been able to keep up their duties. So just keep an open mind and when you're making a play near the curtains.
Yeah. So that's it. That's do we have any other announcements?
That's the only one that I had.
No, I'll put another one. Scorekeepers are no longer going to be lenient about numbers and jerseys of a different color than what your team is wearing. From now on, if you don't have a jersey that's the same color or with a number on it, you will not get your game played. You will not get your stats. So make sure you have that because now moving forward, scorekeepers will be strict on that.
It's tough. I like the rule in principle, and I hate when a team makes the finals and they have garbage jerseys or jerseys that don't match, and it looks terrible. Kiss my end zone. The Alexis Dubois led co-ed team is always a culprit of how garbage that is. But we throw our own under the bus that way, but there's a lot of teams that do that.
Yeah.
And in reality, I understand that there's also a subbing culture in FPF, and that's difficult. If you can, when you're ordering jerseys, order 2 extras.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the end of the world, and if you're strapped, but try and get jerseys in a different color. What I've done through the years is every year or so I get new jerseys, so I basically have every color or variations thereof, and at least even if it's not in a match, at least it's the same color.
Let's go through a little game. Do you have a green jersey?
Yeah.
You have a
Purple,
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 not light blue, purple.
I have a Lakers t-shirt.
Okay, yeah, that counts. Orange.
I have orange.
Okay, those are the usual. Yellow.
I have yellow.
Okay, so you have the red.
I have red.
So you have the primary colors there.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So that's what happens when you play on
black, blue, pink,
black,
white, red. Got them all.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. That's what happens when you play a lot.
You play a long time, play multiple teams. That'll happen. So that's cool. I've actually thought of. I think not allowing players to play is too penalizing because again, subculture.
Yeah.
We need subs to keep our teams from forfeiting.
Yes.
Which is the bigger issue than jerseys. But yes, let's make literally the smallest effort between. And here's the other thing: is even if you don't have every color, someone on your team might have. So when someone's subbing, reach out to your teammates and be like, "Hey guys, does anyone have a white jersey, a green jersey, a black jersey, whatever it is?"
Exactly.
And also, I mean, granted, there is a subculture. If it's one game and they're not going to get their stats displaying or their GP, all right, it's a sub for that one game. If they're joining the team on a regular basis, get them a jersey. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and you can get t-shirts with numbers printed on them, and they're not very expensive. Ligno Cuck, showed up this week. They laid down 47 points against Bearskins in the most penis subtexted game of the week. Of course, Iggy started with that in the notes.
You didn't read it in
No,
the proper way.
I recognize we have a wide variety of listeners, a wide variety of listeners of different ages and genders who might not appreciate a girth joke. Iggy.
Okay, all right.
At least not first. At least
Yeah, well,
I know.
You're the one who put it in the,
Yeah, I just did
at
the mix and
top.
match. Unlike Mo, who just reads them down in order.
Yeah, at least there was a benefit to that. I didn't put the timestamps on the YouTube video, but at least people could follow and say, "Oh, you're doing Div 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5."
We immediately made fun of him for
Yes,
that too.
yeah.
But yeah, so Lego Cook showed up. They put down 47 points against the Bearskins. It's cool watching them play in Div 3
Yep.
because they're not a team with FPF pedigree, but we know them through what they've done in co-ed, through the time that they have spent in FPF, and of course, being one of the top tier teams in MFL. And Dom Lafall bringing his specific brand of athleticism and
Rollouts.
incredibly low center of gravity. And I watched the first 2 drives of this game.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, it was right before my game.
Yep.
I then had some new players, so I had to spend a lot more time pre-game with my team than I usually do. But yeah, so just going through it all, Bearskin started with the ball. Vince Nardone threw a pick in the red zone to start the game, and it kind of looked like a game that would end this way. The second Dom Lafall got the ball, there was literally nothing Bearskins can do. I don't remember if Chris Miard was rushing.
That's what I was just gonna ask. Like, he should have been rushing if he wasn't.
He should have been. I don't remember offhand.
I mean, considering he has no stats on defense, that seems to be a possibility here.
It's possible. The thing is, like Chris Miard's fast too, but if he hasn't played Dom, it would have taken him a second just to adjust to how much Dom is willing to run and buy time. And
yeah, but there's a difference between a drive or 2 and 47 to 18. That's like the whole game.
But the thing is also, what happened from what I saw was essentially, again, Vince Arnone threw that interception. It looked as though Cook were able to put pressure early, and then Bearskins felt like there was a lot of pressure right away and having to come back from behind, and
and then forcing balls and just changing the pace of play. Something that they couldn't probably keep up with Legroca, is I imagine how that game ended up going.
So would you say that this is more of a failure on Vince Nardone on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball, right? Because usually he's proficient in both, and this game it was neither.
Is he though? Like, I know he's had some injuries and it's affected him at the quarterback position, but he's after starting out fairly strong, like in winter 2018, having a 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. That's guaranteed success in FPL.
And what
right?
div?
I want to say it was Div C.
Yeah.
It was a middle division.
That's good.
He's never really returned to that form. And the last time we saw him play was spring of 2021. It wasn't all season long, mind you, but 15 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. And it's what we saw in this game. 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's going to move the ball, but he's going to make mistakes. And I think the team is okay. I don't think they're overwhelmingly strong, so it's going to have to be him playing better.
If he's the QB, I mean, isn't it Neil Ettinson?
I guess he was subbing.
Yeah.
I guess he was subbing. So obviously with Neil, it's a different Bearskins team. They beat ECW last week.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't see them the first week out, so I would imagine it's the case. And obviously having Vince Nardone out there on offense as a receiver is much more efficient for them with Neil Ettinson. I remember first watching him play in FPF and then watching him win a FPF championship, and I couldn't believe that was the same dude. His level of the way he improved his game without even playing, because they tend to only play one season a year.
Yeah, the winter. Yeah,
really, really, really impressive, and not enough is made of that. So I hope that they keep being successful because it's a good team. They're a good group of guys. They're not like, other than Chris Miard, they don't really have the team speed Legro Cook have, and I thought that
Yeah.
was going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Because Legro Cook, yes, Dom Lefort is fast, but the whole team is fast.
Yes. Or at least 2 or 3
The- yeah.
players. Yeah.
The bulk, like they
Yes.
can set out 3 receivers and Dom,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah.
hard for
Yes.
any team to
To
match
co-
that
yeah.
speed.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough outing. But look, 1-1 for the Bearskins. Legro Cook, you asked Iggy if I thought they have the firepower to score 40 on pretty much anyone in the division.
Yeah.
Um,
What's your thought on that?
Well-
General consensus.
I think Alpha Dogs is an interesting test because Alpha Dogs are a physical team, so I
Yeah.
wonder if that's going to disrupt some of they're more finesse style team. So I wonder if
Yeah.
that'll upset them a little bit. The thing is, when it comes to Legro Cuck, we know the playbook. We know not specifically the play like Dom's playbook, but the playbook to beating them.
Yes.
We've discussed this.
Yes.
We saw it in the co-ed finals.
Yep.
Is if your rusher can break down on him and force him to stare down the rush, he's going to do that. And when he stares down the rush, his next look is to the sideline. He will never make a read. As a play develops, he won't read the middle of the field.
Mm.
He may throw there immediately, but if he's going to stare down the rusher, he's not going to use an entire section of the field. So it can change how you defend him. He lost to a team in the finals with 5 players, and that was the reason. He could have hit the snapper every single time, and there was nothing that
Stopping him.
his opposition could have done, and yet unable to do it because it's just not how he plays the position. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you know that, and of course, the caveat is you can know that and not have the rusher,
Yes.
and if that's the case, it
It's
won't
game
matter.
over. Yeah, then it doesn't literally doesn't matter. So, who's a rusher in the division who can kind of stop that style of play? There's throwing out some names. Some of the sack leaders right now. You have Jessica Basitamen of Speed Academy, Noah Groper of Preach. Even Arush is he's not usually a rusher, so I'm kind of surprised. He's usually in coverage. Bastien Fanef-Thibault, Kevin Marcel, the speedy rusher of Backyard Bullies. Is there one of those names that pop out to you? Maybe Armin Bala, the
one
size
we know
and
because
speed.
he's done it in the finals is Joe Notaro.
Right.
Right. So that's for the Sheriff. That's to me the one.
Isaiah Lard is for Blues Clues. Is that a good style of
from Balls Deep, you mean? Not Blues
No.
Clues.
no Div 3 Blues Clues?
Oh, yeah, my mistake.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, also is yeah. Sorry, yeah, I was thinking Div.
I know.
I had the wrong tab open. My
Yes,
mistake.
I know. So, like, is Isaiah's Alard's style of rush
I mean,
suitable to break down and
regardless, he's one of the
yes.
best rushers FPF
Premier,
has ever seen.
yeah.
I don't think Jessica Bostappen is that kind of rusher.
Yeah,
I kind of see her
she's
as
all
like
speed.
I see her as like a bull rusher, like a
Yeah.
power rusher in the NFL.
Yeah.
Warren Sapp style, just
Yeah,
come right up the middle and just
yeah.
destroy your offensive concepts. Noah Groper makes mistakes.
He can miss a
um,
flag or
He
two.
takes really aggressive angles, similar to Jessica in a sense, and
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
why they're racking up a lot of sacks, but
yes,
they're gonna misplace too.
Right.
And Dom Lefort lives for that.
man, that would be a cool stat to track. Missed flags and yards
Or y-
after missed
yards
flag.
yards over rushing yards over expected. Yeah,
yeah.
Eagle.
Yeah. Advanced analytics.
Get
Let's
Joey
go.
on it.
Guys,
Joey and
we can
EWS
barely
on
get
it.
touchdowns tracked. You're going to get missed flags.
Missed flags and yards over expected rushing yards.
Look, Isaiah Allard is, if not the best rusher in FPF history, the second, third, like whatever. It's
premier.
It's splitting hair.
He's premier.
He's the top tier. We talk about this all the time on the show. Is that I don't like going like the best or the greatest because whatever. Once you get to the top 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, like it's all about the
fine
same.
line, yeah.
So he's that top tier, right? So sure, yes, because on top of that, when he misses, his reach is so massive, he might still not reach.
Yeah.
He might still not
might
miss.
reach you and sack you, yes.
I'll give you a name that's not talked about as much anymore, but perhaps in the same vein as Joey Notaro, Kevin Marcel.
Yeah.
Who's exceptionally fast, but also takes great angles.
That's a name I launched at the beginning.
Oh, you did? Okay, my
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah.
My mistake. I'm just saying he's not
Yeah,
a name
yeah.
that a lot of
Yep.
newer FPF players know.
Correct.
From Backyard Bullies.
Yeah.
You got anyone?
Yeah, I named a few. I'm more interested
Okay,
in Division
but
C.
you threw them out as a question. Are those all ones you think that can disrupt?
Not
them?
not all of them, but I think the one you started off with, Joey just.
Yeah, Joey's not in the division though. It was the wrong.
Right, you were still on your Division 4. Yeah. Look, yeah.
Oh, he's played for Junkyard Dogs, but I don't know if he's a full-time member.
Maybe I'm not sure. I'm more interested in Division C.
Oh, Thomas Kutsu, by the way.
Yes,
That's one.
that's another one. Yes, absolutely. I'm more interested in Division C piece. Some Division 3, in which teams that played in Division C saw much success and are now seeing a rough start to the season.
I called our advanced analytics team that's working on yards rushing yards over expected. You'll be getting a message from me later, Joey. GIHF, which is basically vultures.
Yeah.
Or vultures adjacent. This is the Ben McMahon quarterbacked team.
Yes.
Stoics,
Beer
BBB,
Beer
EZW,
Belly.
Infantry, Air Force One. These were all, if not top teams in division, playoff teams.
Yeah.
And all teams that were considered to be legitimate contenders in the division.
Yeah.
They're 0-6-1.
That's crazy.
Infantry won the championship. Stoics were the runner up. GIHF was in the semifinals.
Yeah.
EZW was considered to be the top team until Jimmy White wasn't
left.
quarterbacking.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
It speaks to the strength of Division 3.
But we said the same thing about Division C. If you remember,
I know
this division's wild. Anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
The results were insane, and we're seeing that play out now. Infantry also got off to a slow start last year, though, so that might be what's going on here.
Fair point. But that just speaks to the incredible strength across the board of Division C. It kind of also means maybe like a Division B team made it also into Division 3 or a Division 2 team kind of made
Division
its way
C
down.
is kind of 4+.
Yeah.
So it's a little stronger than Division 4. It's not quite as strong as Division 3. I'm just surprised that there's not been a win amongst all those teams.
Yeah. I'm totally surprised by that. You threw out that advanced analytics stat as well.
Very advanced. They counted wins.
Yes, I know.
I think what's interesting too is when you actually look at the results of the schedule, none of the games have been that close as the other one, right?
Yeah.
Like Belly Brigade lost by 12. You have Stoics that lost by 23, which is just meh. Infantry lost by 8, which again is significant for now. Air Force lost by like 29, which is ridiculous. EZW lost by 9. Gilf lost by 20, and then basically same thing for this week 2. Like nothing to really change that much. So again, lost by 9. The only game that was somewhat close was the Gilf and Backyard Bullies, right? Tie game. That's the one that's here. Yeah. But the other ones, it's been, I'm not going to say blowouts, but if you're losing by 8 points or more, that's significant.
Yeah.
Especially with the onside kick rule now.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't seen it. I think we tweaked it in the right way. I'm not seeing it run as often.
As it shouldn't have been.
Right. Because it's supposed to be a Hail Mary kind of last desperation move. Even yesterday, when Joey Taylor had the option of moving up 15 yards or so because of 2 penalties on after a play on the touchdown, I'm like, hey dude, you should want to think about going on the onside kick in the first half, just because it was like a 4th and 7, 4th and 10 situation for the onside kick, and he still didn't go for it.
I was thinking that,
but with like 3 plays remaining in the half, and like the other team would start on your 15.
I mean,
and you're up like 20 points.
Yeah, because
I know.
You're just giving up 1 score and you're up 3 scores anyway.
Yeah.
And you because then you end the game.
Pretty much.
If you score there, you end the game.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you know my approach is always be more aggressive, right? So
Division 3 is just absolutely wild. You know, I think the cap has something to do with that as well. You know, when Adam Sinagra can add Quade Johnson to the mix.
Yeah.
No wonder they won 38-18 in their first game of the season.
So EZW took on Free Smoke, and I saw Sam Pelcha before the game, and I was like, "Yo, you need." I didn't realize who was on the team because again, it's still a new season, and I remember Free Smoke from Coed, and I thought it would just be like a similar group. So I was like, I told him, well, watch out for the two Alexi brothers. You know, I didn't tell him to watch out for Jimmy Lee Janvier at quarterback, and
Well,
Sebastien Chrissy Lozon and Jared Taylor. That's my bad, Sam.
Yeah. Whoops.
That's an equally strong team though.
Although Free Smoke Co-ed in the playoffs did move to Jimmy Lee Janvier at quarterback.
Yeah.
They did make that switch. Which is kind of crazy. Like all season you have Jeans Lee, Alexis throwing the ball, and then playoff time, let's just put Jimmy Lee in there. But yeah, like that's just as strong, stronger team, of course, with adding Jared Taylor to the mix and Crazy Lezon. So yeah, this division's just it's gonna be wild all season. And it might be a top half and bottom half heavy team. Is that maybe how you're seeing it?
So which of these teams end up in the bottom half
Which of these?
of the 06-1 teams?
I don't necessarily like the Vulture. To me, it's not Vultures Plus or Vultures 2.0. This is like Vultures minus James Drysdale.
Yeah.
Like up in Division 3. Don't love that. I like what Beer Belly did, and they impressed me, with wins over Kiss My Outlaws with like a strong defense. I don't know. I just don't see it within this division. Maybe it's because maybe it's my first impressions of them losing big to Silent Ticklers in week 1. Granted, my power rankings will come out soon on Instagram, but I think I ranked Silent Ticklers number 1. A little sneak peek of the power ranking. So maybe going up against the number 1 power ranked team, maybe the eye test is making me think that Beer Belly is going to struggle, but that's just my first impressions. And I think Easy W minus Jeremy White and minus I don't believe Theo Leving is a full-timer on the team. At least he hasn't been at least for the first 2 games.
They get to a point where like because they've been playing together for so long, all of the caps have come up.
Yes, yeah.
It's kind of I've experienced that with my team. Is like, oh yeah, all of us are getting up there now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You know.
I think those are just 2 huge pieces that, as good as everyone else is, you just can't replace those. So I think those are 3 teams that end up near the bottom.
You mentioned Silent Ticklers. Adam Rosen of Silent Ticklers is on pace to score 40 receiving touchdowns. He has 8 through 2 weeks.
That's insane. That's crazy.
Where will he actually finish? Like, given that he's at 8, where does he end up?
26, which is still a lot.
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Still a lot, but I'm gonna say 26.
Wait, 26?
Yeah.
He has
8
games
already
left,
through 2 games.
and he's gonna get 26.
Yeah.
That's slightly over 3 a game.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right. I think he's gonna get more than that.
You think he's gonna get more?
Yeah.
3,
More than that.
3 is a lot. Per
No,
game.
I don't think so.
Not for him.
I don't think in
Or in
Division
general.
3 is the correct number anymore. I think
Wow.
Division 3 is way closer to the Division 1 and 2 style of
You
play than before.
Yeah, but
But
you
how
don't
many guys
see
in Division
4
1 and 2
TDs.
score 26 plus touchdowns? There's
Yeah.
been 1 in Adam Crystal.
Yeah, I think so. Right now, there's 8 games left. He's getting at least
2.
26. I think he can easily hit 30.
Okay, I mean,
So
look,
you're
like,
going over 26.
again, it's under the average of what he's heading towards, right? So
Yeah.
maybe, and like this team is interesting because guys like Andrew Blevings were household names when I started playing in FPF. Jordan Panetta was literally on the All-Star nomination list, right?
Sure.
And Mike Zanobi too was one of these guys who was like, well, he hasn't played yet, but he's a guy who's sort of been familiar to longtime FPF players. So, and for a long time, this group of guys, they were solid and they were a really good team. And Adam Rosen came along as he was one of the younger guys from that group of guys who played with
Texas Longhorns.
Texas Longhorns,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's been an interesting injection of youth. I just wonder though, at one point, do teams just sell out to stop that?
Well, that's why I think 26 is the number, because I think Dan Mancini will eat up some of those touchdowns away. If
Mike Zanobi plays too, he'll get some of the work.
Exactly, and especially as defenses start to be like, hey, this guy's really fast. Let's play really deep on him and take away and really put their best defenders on him.
Yeah.
Naturally, just Mancini and Zanobi are going to eat away on.
I'd say they didn't play too. They played too defenses with a lot of athletes, but not too adaptive defenses.
Yeah.
Beer Belly Brigade is pretty much this is what they're giving you, and then it's your job to beat them.
There's no one who on that team who can stop Adam Rosen's speed.
Yeah, no, not specific. Maybe Alex Fafard if he.
No.
But even then, he's not. He's fast, but he's not a great defender.
Yeah, it's a different foot angle and foot speed that you need on
Yeah.
defense than when you're attacking with the ball.
Blue chips, they have
Sure.
the Mitchell brothers who are incredibly fast, but again, and Sanders Armand is on that team as well. But I think it's a team that just relies on athleticism rather than taking away sort of what you can do. And I think at this point, now that he's returned to play for a little bit and has played basically 3 straight seasons, Jordan Pineda might be the best quarterback in this division.
That's saying something.
I mean, I don't think it's crazy to say it.
He's amongst the best.
Yeah, that's literally the thing I said.
You said he might be the best.
Yeah,
That's
might be means he's in the category.
Yeah, yes, that I can't disagree with. I think you and I would agree that Stephen Haraprasad's probably
Yeah.
like above him.
But I mean,
above him.
I'd say above, but they're close.
It's Adam Sinagra.
Yeah, Adam Sinagra I think is still adjusting to FPF. Same with Jules Regenbald.
Yeah.
Santino Sperania, it's an interesting style, and he's done amazing things, and I'm curious to see if he takes that next step.
In Div 3? Are you on the wrong division again?
Yeah, and God damn it.
I knew it. I felt like that. I'm like, why is he throwing out Santino Sperania's name here? What's wrong with you?
I was surprised. I was like, he's crushing it in Div 3.
He's flustered.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
flustered.
and then I'd say he's a step above like Jason Rossi.
It's close.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's close. I wouldn't say it's close between those two.
a little. He's a little more careful with the ball than
Yes.
Jason.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is
Agreed.
kind of the thing I like about Jason Rossi is how there's magic in his carelessness at times.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. So that's to me. I'm curious to see the kind of season he can have with that group. Les Sect is 3-0, my man.
Does that mean they won a game?
They won. They officially won their first game.
No,
3 times.
stop
For
this.
the 5th
Stop with your
time, they
goddamn-
won their 3rd
there
game.
you go. You're doing the Mocon thing.
I'm doing the making fun of Mocon thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they're 3-0. I think most set the over under at 4.5 wins for them.
I thought
I
that
gave
was
them the
low.
over.
Yeah.
I thought it was low. They're already at 3. So after all the punishment they've taken, and getting beat up on teams, they're now the ones kind of doing the beating up. 74 points for, 37 points against. They're plus 37 in that differential. Beating teams that have that football experience, FPF experience, like Fast Not Furious 3. Beating a team with Ryan Dobbs Garnett and Alex Noel on the team, and Diana James Landry. Like these are players that have played together often. Well, not Alex Noel.
But Ryan Dobbs Garnett's learning to play the position. I know. By the way, shout out to him for throwing, because I can't. He likes to like joke around and bust guys' chops about like he'll come bug me about throwing interceptions. Like, dude, it's harder than you think it is.
Yeah.
So it's kudos to him for giving it a shot.
Yeah.
And you scored 25 points in an FPF game, but again, going back to last sec, that's a game where when teams are scoring with them, they tend to they would typically fade away. And I think the momentum they've got from winning a couple of games, it starts to be contagious. You start to see, oh yeah, these are the things that are working. Oh yeah, we can stay in the game.
Let's do it. Let's keep doing the things that work.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's starting to click, and it's nice to see from the outside, and I'm sure it's nice from the inside in that huddle. Getting a different dynamic, more positive vibes from them. They must be feeling good at 3-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to see it. I was surprised that they blew out Block Party.
Yeah.
300 is a team that made the finals last winter.
Yep.
And they got blown out because Block Party is 300
Yep, pretty much.
ostensibly.
Yep.
And Paquer, okay, we knew that was going to be a weak team. I think honestly, just looking at the teams that are in this division, I think Mo is making when you follow an account that's like, calling the audible without context. I think most questions sometimes are calling the audible without context. Like, he just thinks of the history of Lasek without looking at the other teams of the division, right? Like it's not the
Right.
same competition they're playing
Right.
against.
Yeah.
You know, like
Even
they're better than Sneaky Snakes. The Fast and Furious 3 have a new quarterback. Puckhair are 2-1, and
are 2-1.
they struggled.
You just said how like this is not a great team. They're 2-1.
which is 2-1, but they're not as good as Lasek.
Right,
I've played against both teams.
Right. Yes.
they're not as good.
I
Like,
agree. I agree.
You know, and again, Block Party just seemingly not getting things going. 6 points scored, man. That's wild. Like I know their call to fame has been their defense.
Yeah.
But right now neither's working for them. You know, so we'll see how that turns around as well. So you asked if Alison Francione is two-way player of the year.
Well,
If he will be, or if he's the leader in the clubhouse.
No, the question was, this is Alison Francione's two-way of player of the year to lose.
I mean,
Who-
okay, it's
who-
not what you wrote, but whatever.
Is this Alison Francione's two-way player
It's
of
very
the
different
year
than this
award
is.
to lose?
I don't know why I'm being so semantical with you tonight.
God damn it. So, like, I mean, I think it is his to
Yeah.
lose. Who's in there in the running with him?
Because of how heavily the offense uses Alison Francione, I think it'll be hard for anyone else legitimately to compete with him.
And
I
I
think-
mean, defensively, he's really the leader of the team on both
Yeah.
sides of the ball. I mean,
But, like-
that's why.
On top of that, like you kind of, especially in low divisions, it tends to be teams that funnel the ball to a singular receiver.
Right.
And I mean, Valerie Shelder has a chance.
Yep.
I think on Sneaky Snakes.
Fair, yep. He needs more touches with the ball. You know, if
Yeah.
Darryl Dorsley can steadily improve at the quarterback position and kind of utilize his receivers in their strengths. I think he has the deep ball to hit Valerie Shelder and get his numbers up. He could be definitely a potential to battle it out with Alison Francione.
Kudos to Lasek to actually getting a quarterback, because that was always our biggest
He's
gripe
been
for their
he's
team,
been
right?
a quarterback for a while though.
But that's why, like, so he's like, hey, I'm way better off catching balls. Just feed me instead of me having to feed people.
You're
And
referring
that's
to-
changed the trajectory of their team.
Right, you're referring to Alison Francione.
Yeah, Francione, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like and we've both played against Raphael Beauchamp Desbois. He's not a finished product by any stretch,
No, but it's a
But
working product.
and he's been improving. He's
Yeah.
been improving.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time I played against Lasek versus when we played them in fall. I was like, whoa, he's drastically better
Yeah.
in just one season. So I think them being in Quad 3 and really getting some confidence and showing, and like you said, learning the things that work and then just repeating the things that
Yeah.
work.
Like, people think that's a crazy thing. It's like, oh, this worked. Let's try something else now. Why? It worked. Do it again. Do
For
it
sure.
again until the defense reacts and stops it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. Sometimes we make things more difficult for ourselves than we have to.
Oh yeah,
With
We're all
like a
crazy people.
30-page playbook.
Yeah.
No, the 6 plays that work.
And even if you have a 30-page playbook, it doesn't mean you need all 30 for every game.
Mhm.
You can use 4 all game over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Right?
All hooks.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about Ryan Dobbs-Garnett, but the female receivers on his team, James Landry and Cecilia Lamar, they're getting involved. They each had a touchdown each and averaging 16 yards of reception for Landry. That's impressive.
Yeah, either she's getting downfield and Ryan they're seeing a connection on the deep balls, or she's catching that 5-yard hook and making some people miss, getting the yak yards. That's nice to see. She has the potential to be a pretty solid receiver in co-ed. So it's nice to see that she's 16 yards per reception. You're moving the ball.
Yeah.
That's 3 catches is moving the entire field.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's awesome. It's good to see her involved, and that's the key to co-ed, right? Like, if
Yeah.
you have matchups, especially with your female players, that's where you're going to take advantage. So kudos to Fast and Furious. They have experience in co-ed, so it's now doing that with a different formation, a lot of the same players, but like set up in different roles.
Yeah.
And if they continue that, I'm curious to see what they'll look like by season's end, because I think
Yeah.
it's a team that will not look great to start, but from weeks 5 on, we're going to see a team vastly improving.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one of those like quote unquote teams you don't want to face in the playoffs,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Which winless teams are most in trouble?
Yeah, so there's 4 here. So there's Kinda Cool at 0-1, Fast Not Furious 0-1. I think we can eliminate
We'll
them.
eliminate them just based on the
Yeah.
last sentence that we just
Yeah,
uttered.
exactly. You got Half and Half. That's that Gab Wiseman led team with no, not Kenny Boutillier. He's on his own team with Michael Scott's Tots. But the Half and Half team that's 0-1, or the Blocked Party that we just said at 0-2, struggling on offense.
So half and half is interesting because they only played one game.
Yep.
But they lost to Sneaky Snakes.
Yeah.
Which none of us would have picked.
No, I would have definitely picked Half and Half.
Yeah.
In that.
Did Gab Wiseman play that game?
He did, but not as QB. So
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
fine.
throwing.
Kemia St. Marie is the quarterback of the
Yeah.
team.
I believe she's played for Sriracha Hot Chili Sauce in
Yeah,
the
and
past seasons as a receiver.
Not as a quarterback.
Yeah, as a receiver.
But I don't think she did that poorly. Like, she completed over half her passes. She
Yep.
completed 16 passes. The yards per pass is a little low, so it looks like maybe just a little too conservative. And then once she made that mistake and she threw the interception, maybe that sort of forced her to go more into a shell kind of thing.
Well, I see it as 120 yards. You're moving the ball downfield 3 times, and there's 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. So, to me, moving the ball 3 times in your first FPF game,
Yeah.
like downfield and scoring on 2/3 of them, not bad. Definitely, there's something there to work with. So I'm not too worried about half and half. I'm worried about the Block Party offense that we kind of alluded to a few minutes ago. Their, I guess, like you said, calling card, or what they're least known for is their quarterback position. They're still struggling to find the quarterback for this team. They're kind of on a carousel of quarterbacks. We had Marc-Antoine Martin, I believe, last winter. They had maybe even a duo system.
Fabrice Robillard
Well, now
is on the team as well.
Yeah, now this year he's giving it a go. He gave it a go last spring when Alex Papineau wasn't able to be there at a few games. So he doesn't seem like he's going to be the answer. But
Well, he struggled in FPF as a quarterback in general.
Yes.
And so, like, you never know where you'll slot in terms of which division you're playing. Because, like, FPF is a hard league. So
it is.
people who play in Div 6 will go play in, like, CMSS and dominate
Yeah.
because it's not the same level of competition.
Yeah.
So Division 6, Co-Ed 3, just because they're the lowest of their respective, set of divisions, it doesn't mean they're weak divisions at all.
No, they're not.
I'm surprised again because of the experience and because they're sort of like what I thought was a co-ed 2 team,
Yeah.
sort of slipping down.
Yeah.
I thought that gave them a chance to do some damage, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
But I mean, also, it's week 2. Most of the teams have played one game. Can we pump the brakes on the panic mode
No,
just for a second?
That's what we do on this show.
Yeah.
Mike, legendary Mike doesn't seem so legendary. One TD, 7 picks.
It's easy to analyze it after it happens, Eagle.
Yes, this is the predictive nature of our show.
And the making fun of sports radio that picks and predicts the future and is always wrong. And you move on from it and you never go back to how you were wrong.
Agreed.
But you always remember the times you were right.
Of course.
I think Kenny Cooley might be in trouble as well.
Is it? I'm saying that name as kind of cool. It's like kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Let us know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Eagle, do you have a separate pronunciation?
Canicule.
Oh,
There we go. That's the right one.
Canicule.
Kenny Cooley.
I like that one too.
Athena Ryan looked good last game. But they only scored 3 times. There's no one here who has sort of like the FPF pedigree, I think, that can carry them.
Right.
So they're gonna learn. They're gonna have to like experience some hardship before they see success, I think, and that's gonna be key for them. So I think they're a team that we can see do well in the future because again, that's still a good effort. Obed Laria looked really good, scoring a touchdown. on 3 targets, and Evan Gubert scoring a pair as well. Like, the team does look like they have ability. It's just a question of learning the things that are effective in FPF.
Yeah, I'm not too worried actually about the offense, even though 18 points is not a lot in your first game as an offense. It's fine. It's more the defense. Kenny Boutsele has, struggled in his FPF career as a quarterback. It's nice to see him, put up 24 points. But for kind of cool to let up 24 points, I think the defensive side of the ball is going to be their not complete undoing, but they're going to it's hard to play defense in FPF. The game is built for the offenses, and it's just hard to play good defense, especially in your first year. So I expect them, losing games 28-24, 24-12. It's hard. Defense is hard, and I think they're
and learning that
struggle.
communication and all that,
Yeah.
and also like there's sort of like exploits that work in FPF that other teams will know that they don't know and won't necessarily know how to stop.
Exactly. It's
Early female of the year candidate. I like this one here, Vanessa Pierre.
Yeah.
In Le Paquer. She's exceptional at covering ground.
yeah.
You might think something's open. The time I've seen her, she played at the corner position.
Yeah. In the flats usually.
Sorry?
In the flats.
Yeah, but I've seen her break down and cover a play, but then have to cover in shadow defense.
Yeah.
And catching ground on an open receiver in a way that I didn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I like that call. I think she might be there. I wish she was more involved in offense, honestly.
Yes, that's
Because she's a very good athlete.
Yeah.
They're a big roster. It's part of it.
That's true.
She's got a pick 6 already though, so she's been putting points on the board either way.
It's true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So not only exactly, she's putting up the statistics. She passes that eye test, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's what you're saying.
it's-
Yeah.
seeing her play is even more impressive than what she's done. That's how I know.
Exactly.
Oh, if she was on offense more often, she'd be really, really
Yeah.
impactful.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think she's early season candidate for female player of the year. The 2 picks. One, I saw it. It was off Kenny Boutselier. She just read his eyes. Like, she has a natural instinct for the game, and mixed and paired with her natural athletic abilities, she's gonna be pretty dominant in co-ed 3.
Eagle, are you taking timestamps?
I am.
Okay, great, cool.
Nice.
I forgot to ask you before the show. So production on air. Flashbang faced the villains. Flashbang
Co-ed
won
2.
44-30.
Yeah, co-ed 2.
Where do we see teams like this at the end of the regular season? I know, Eagle, I'm trying to do the more natural thing than Mo does, where he just screams out division and then starts talking. I'm just trying to go topic to topic instead of screaming, go ahead too.
It works.
Well, the first thing for Flashbang team is, who's your quarterback?
So good question, I guess. I played them in week 1. It should be Charles Vero. Now, did he maybe get a little injured? And I say it should be because he threw 99% of the passes in week 1. I'm not sure if this is a scorekeeper maybe error of, a double quarterback play that
Also, there were no completions.
impossible.
No completions.
I know, I see it, but impossible.
Philip DiCinzio, 3 for 3. Charles Vero, 6 for 6. Charles Davidson Parent, 5 for 5.
And they did it all in the first half. They put up 44 points in the first half.
Tell me again how strict they're going to be about uniforms.
We're going to be strict on uniforms.
How about we be strict on scorekeepers?
Yes. That's the thing. Look, these 2 teams, these are 2 powerhouse, I'd say, offensive-driven teams.
But against everyone or against teams like themselves?
Yes, I was getting there.
I know, I'm setting you up, bro.
Yeah, I know. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you can't alley-oop to yourself. I guess you could have the backboard. Fine,
Yeah.
you can alley-oop to yourself, but the hell with you. I want the ball. It's my show tonight. Mo's not here.
Yeah. But I am impressed that they put up 44 on Villains. Villains have the athletic ability to maybe overcome their, I don't want to say complete, lack of knowledge of a defensive game. They do have some defensive structure, but they do rely a bit more on their athletic abilities to make up ground on the mistakes that they make and the coverage mistakes that they make. So to put up 44 on them is impressive to me.
Yeah.
These are two very good co-ed 2 teams. They're not going to be the top 2 seeds or the top 3 seeds. They'll be in the middle. They're definitely a playoff team. I think both of these teams are the type of, you kind of said it about 10 minutes ago, these are 2 teams that you might not want to face when it comes to first round of the playoffs.
I have concerns.
Yeah.
Or do they have 3 quarterbacks? If you have 3 quarterbacks, you don't have 1 quarterback, as they say. But in all seriousness, Ariane Brenko, 1 catch, 1 target, 4 yards.
Yeah.
Gabriel Mongrain, a little better for villains. 3 catches, 4 targets, 41 yards in the game they faced off against each other. No other females.
Yeah.
I guess, Megan Tifo had a single catch on the target. So villains in their second season in co-ed starting to use their female players a little more often.
Yeah.
And they made a change at quarterback to Mehdi Chavchou. I haven't seen him play it, so I'm not sure how he is, but like the benefit of having Jeremy and Savage Thompson O'Reilly as receivers and having all that speed at the receiver position, I think is a huge benefit. But again, it's going to be limited if you don't use all 5 receivers.
That's the thing that's going to limit them from being one of the top contenders in the division. Totally agree. Now, that said, while they may not excel offensively like Ariane Branco that you're mentioning, she sacked me 3 times in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
So like she definitely has
it's
defensive
it's
prowess.
easier for them to be involved on defense because they're not controlling the play.
Right.
But
I know
when you're not
saying.
using them on offense, you're handicapping your offense.
Yes, which you know what to that point,
74 points scored in this game.
yes,
but
it makes it that much more impressive because
but against each other.
yes.
So like, you talked about, okay, great. Branko sacked you 3 times.
Yeah.
Week 1, right? You won 26-12. So all of this great offense, where was it against Kiss My End Zone? It was nowhere because they don't use all receivers.
There you go. Yes, it was
There we go.
a designed game plan to say, let's take away the male receivers because they're going to heavily target them. It's literally the game plan going in.
So when they face Fighting Tigers, when they face bench warmers, Fireball, the IG team, those are not going to be fun games for them, I don't think, when it comes to flashback.
I agree. And that's why they're going to be a middle tier, they're going to be a playoff team, but middle of the tier. And to my point of that's a team you're not going to want to face later in the first round of the playoffs. Hopefully it's because they do work out, the female involvement in the offense.
Maud Lacasse leads co-ed 2, tied with Gab Wiseman with 10 touchdown passes. But she's thrown 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
We saw in the women's final, the game got away from her as she started turning the ball over. I found that interesting because I don't know Maud to be someone who is careless with the football.
Yes and no.
I mean, it hasn't been the experience I've seen in FPF per se. Maybe I just caught her
So
on
would you
games
say,
where she's been
so-
unworldly, where she can be.
so are you saying between conservative or more aggressive?
Because she's aggressive. It's not that
There
she's
you
not
go.
aggressive, but it seems like she has like timed aggression usually, right? Like it's setting up the deep shot. It's not gratuitous.
Right. Are we maybe suggesting that against a lower competition in the women's?
I wouldn't say it's lower, right?
Wait.
Okay.
In last year's Fall Cup.
Okay, the Fall Cup.
The women's tier wasn't what it was now in women's 1, and nor is it what it is in co-ed 2.
Fair.
Yes. Sorry. Yes. You
And
need
to
to
your
let
point,
me
like,
finish my sentence.
I mean, look, in winter, in 7 games she threw 13 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll. I guess
yeah.
the reason I like Maud Lacasse is maybe
I will take on Mo Khan's stance here with who am I going for?
Maud Lacasse is.
I'm Team Maud Lacasse. Yes.
I am too, but I think I like jokes aside, I do like her as a quarterback as well.
Yeah, I love her. Yeah, she's great.
I love her style, and I think part of it is just, I guess, there's things about it that remind me of quarterbacks I like. Like, it's a style I like to play, for example, where she's completing, like that season where she threw 13 interceptions, she completed 65% of her passes.
Yeah.
Those two things don't always happen where like, you're throwing essentially 2 interceptions a game, but you're also completing passes nonstop.
Yeah,
you're moving the ball continuously.
So is that a product of making a timely mistake? You're on point, and one mistake that you make gets intercepted. That's maybe being
the Josh Allen
over aggressive.
It can be. In Josh Allen's case, that's just aggression for aggression's sake.
Yeah.
They'll lose this weekend, by the way. You'll see. But anyway, this season, to be fair, she's completing 75% of her passes.
And it's 10 TD. She's leading. Like we started this off by she's leading the division.
Moving the ball
in TD.
She's
scoring.
She's scoring. She's got the most passing yards. She's second in attempts. Like the offense is continuously doing stuff.
Yeah. Do they lack maybe a stud receiver, male or female?
Yeah. I think Dylan Taylor's. I mean, Julie McLaren-Thompson can be that in this division.
True.
Dylan Taylor's a solid piece as well.
Yep.
A lot of those STL folks from seasons past. But
it's a mix of STL.
It's a team where Rebecca DeCarry-Corbet has all the targets as a female receiver, and she's the only one. She's the only one. So
I would have assumed she would have brought a bit more of her Brutes teammates to make it a Brute STL.
Yeah, we haven't seen Annabelle Chevrier play yet.
And she's on the roster?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe that's where we see that, or maybe she starts getting subs because they're not having the attendance they thought they would have. But either way, like it's still effective. So it's also working in her case. And Gab Wiseman is doing Gab Wiseman things.
On that team?
No, on Benchwarmers.
On
because he's also tied
with 10 TDs, right?
Yeah. So you asked. So can she lower these interceptions? I think now taking a moment because again I was basing it more on like the narrative of the times I've seen her play, and that finals game kind of stuck out as a
like a sore thumb almost.
Yeah, but I didn't. It wasn't like in other games I'd seen her play.
Right.
And so, but maybe I just saw her on the games where she's just otherworldly because again she can be.
Right. I know what you're saying. Like maybe it didn't stick out, or maybe it did stick out like a sore thumb because you're not used to seeing it. But maybe left a bad taste in your mouth.
No, I mean it's It doesn't matter how I feel about it. I'm just saying that like I think I might have had a false impression because now looking at her stats, she's going to turn the ball over. So Fighting Tigers have to build that into their team. Like they got to be more aggressive on defense to try and create turnovers. And on top of that, I think maybe playing at a breakneck pace, playing at a fast pace, where you give yourself an extra possession because you're going to put pressure on the other team to have an extra possession as well. Maybe they turn the ball over as well.
Right.
So like we've talked about this before, where it's like if you're a quarterback who's going to turn the ball over once every 5 possessions, maybe have 8 possessions a game instead of 6.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that could be the difference because the other quarterback may turn the ball over once every 7 possessions, and now it might level the playing ground.
I think she's capable of playing the hurry up, and it doesn't have to be go hurry up all the time. She's capable of it. I haven't seen it.
Me neither.
It's more of a methodical, relaxed, like okay, we're gonna do our thing, and it's more of the 6 drive possessions than the 8.
Yeah,
and I think that's gonna hurt at the rate she's going at, which is 2-1 is not great.
Yeah,
10-5.
I think it'll be enough to get to the playoffs, but it sounds like a first round exit.
That's poor, actually.
Yeah, 3-1 is average,
acceptable.
Yeah, that's 3-1. You'll be a 6-4 team.
Yeah,
typically
5-5.
Yeah, you're playoff bound at 3-1.
Yeah. 2-1.
2-1's gonna be tough. 2-1 is.
It's not
you better score a lot.
It's not Maud Lacasse standards.
No,
what I'm trying to say.
But again, it kind of was in that 7-game season that we talked about, right?
Right.
So, we'll see. She doesn't have the overwhelming talent compared to the rest of the division the way she has often with Brut. So we'll see how that goes. I
Jeans
seem
Lee.
to have navigated away from the
Jeans
script.
Lee.
So you mentioned the next topic.
Yeah, so it's Jeans Lee and the IG team, kind of last minute team that squeezed into co-ed 2 here to save the standings. They're 2-0. What do we think about Jeans Lee Alexis as a quarterback? Can he dominate here in co-ed 2? He's put up 50 points in 2 games here.
I've been impressed with him. I mean, as a receiver and DB,
Jesus,
you
he's
can't not
insane.
be impressed by him. That's
He's insane.
obvious.
Yeah.
But he seems to have a natural feel for the position that a lot of stud Division 1 players think they will have, and then try it, and then it's harder than they think it is,
Mhm.
right? He had some moments last season where I was blown away. Late in game moments where it's like, oh, he can manage a late game scenario. That's
Right.
cool.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not common. Eagle, what are you doing?
Nothing. Keep going.
Okay. That's not common. Maybe drop a note in the message so we'll know what you're doing, Eagle. Man, like you've been away for a while, huh?
Yeah,
And I'm tired.
It shows. Yeah, he gave me milk, by the way, for those who were like, what the hell is Iggy drinking? He gave me like a bottle of milk.
So
to be clear,
Eagle took our coffee orders today. And I ordered my usual black coffee, and I received it. And Iggy ordered 1 milk. So he received
One
a milk.
milk.
Yeah.
Here it is.
You got your order. I like it a lot. I still think, though, like, if Jeansley wasn't throwing, and we do this a lot, right? Where we look at a team and we say, if we move that insanely talented individual away from quarterback and now they're a receiver, and you put a solid quarterback on that team, not saying that he's not solid, because it's a separate point that I'm making.
Yeah.
How devastating would that team be?
Oh,
and I think they would
insane,
be the
yeah.
best team in Coed 2 by a wide margin.
Yes. Now, given that's not the case, I look at week 1 in his game. He lost the offensive battle.
Mm-hmm.
They lost the TD battle 3-2
But
offensively. Now, he got a rushing TD because he can run on just about 99% of the league, and he got a pick 6 on defense.
Yeah.
So he's still relying a little bit too much more. I mean, he's still relying on himself. He's not relying on others.
do we
but
know
like-
that? Do we know that Jordanson Alexi is not Jordan Alexi?
Probably.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I mean, from the image will load. No, this is a third.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It
looks like
brother.
it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
triplets.
More terror brought to FBF from
Goddamn.
ridiculous athletes.
And he has a 3-14 record. Like, what teams have you been playing on?
Not good
you're,
enough ones.
You're about to
okay.
win a lot more games now. Look, he's still relying more than just his quarterback capabilities. You get a rusher who can stop him, and you get a good quarterback on your team that is good at protecting the football, and you limit the interceptions that you're one to know. You face him on defense. You don't want to throw the ball
No.
his way.
Well,
Because
I made one mistake and they won the game.
there, exactly. Like
That was it.
you're 3 yards wide of a receiver. It's probably either getting tipped or it's in his hands.
Yeah,
'cause
you have to, when your receiver's open, if he's in the area,
you
you have to
gotta-
not only throw to your receiver, but throw away from
Yeah.
the area he's breaking from.
Yeah.
Because he takes such a good angle on the ball. I saw it. I was like, oh, I got to be careful. And then, of course,
You weren't.
I wasn't. But just to say that, like, it's so impressive to see how quickly he can get to the ball, how he can beat a receiver who's already in position
Yeah.
to the ball. It's next level for me. That's what makes him such a menace in Division 1, and that's what makes him as good as he is in this division as well.
Yeah.
I think he's got enough athleticism. It's maybe not the best use of the roster like we talked about. Like having him as a receiver is
Mhm.
obviously ridiculous. But look, the guy wants to try playing quarterback. He's learning.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
learning quickly.
That's cool.
And to me, the ability to manage late game situations is so tough.
It is.
And
It's a learned
he's
skill.
really good at it so
It's
far.
a learned skill. It's you have to learn and
I think just
acquire it.
his life experience of playing football at a high level
Yeah.
has prepared him for that.
Yep.
So there we go. That's where we're at with that.
Yep.
They are undefeated though, so we'll see how that turns out for the rest of the season. There are 4 teams that have not played a game yet in Co-ed 1. Les
Yep.
Bleus, Ballbusters, that's Carmen Police's team. Carmen Police coming back from his knee injury, or Achilles injury rather. Happy to see him back.
Yeah.
Because that injury was devastating to him.
I may have
last year.
phrased that strangely. So there's 4 teams that haven't played.
Yeah.
And there are 2 0-2 teams, Les Bleus and
Yeah,
Ballbusters.
exactly.
Yeah, sorry. So
I didn't finish saying that together. I got
yeah.
distracted by Carm.
yeah.
But yeah, so it kind of frames the division interestingly,
Yes.
right? Because we have a lot of incomplete information.
Exactly.
And of course, at this point in the season, we don't really know what these wins and losses mean. But don't forget, like for some teams that are 0-2, it's 20% of your season, right? Like it's a significant portion. It's in the NFL they talk about how teams that go 0-3 have almost no chance of making the playoffs. Like it's not exactly that because more teams make the playoffs.
Yep.
And the matchups are often
Cannibalized.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's more interplay and all that. So it's not exactly the sentence it was,
Right.
but nobody wants to start a season that way.
Exactly. So who's more in trouble in your opinion between those 2 Les Bleus Ballbusters?
Les Bleus have such a weird jersey selection.
The red?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. Andrea Hevia has struggled so far. All the metrics you look for, you want to complete around 60% of your passes. You want to throw, obviously, more touchdowns and interceptions by a factor of
3 to 1.
3 to 4, like we talked about before.
Yeah.
100 yards a game is not enough. Like the offense is not doing enough.
Yeah.
Period. And to be fair, they face 2 experienced teams with good defenses. So
yeah.
that they just maybe got the short end of the stick there.
But that's what you're going to get in Co-ed 1.
Yeah.
Maybe they signed up for the wrong division. Maybe.
I'd agree.
It's too early. Maybe it's too early to tell, but 46-6. Although look, 26-12 is not a blowout. To easy fun, a very experienced team. Team that made it to the finals in Fall Cup. 26-12 not getting blown out, but it's still like what Eagle said at the beginning at the top of the show in Division 3. Losing by 14 points, that's 2 possessions. You're not in the game.
Yeah. And then for Carmen Police, I think there's going to be some adjustment for Ballbusters. They had the misfortune of facing off against Sarah Parker and Alex Nadeau-Hughes.
Yeah. Like now we're talking against
And then
elite.
they go Power Rangers Kiss My Outlaws. Fast Not
Oh.
Furious.
Oh.
Northern Braves.
Ouch.
There's
Not
your answer.
not a false king.
They're
Just-
gonna go 0-6. They're gonna go 0-6. Carmen's gonna send me an angry message.
Yep.
I'm sorry, dude. Nothing with you. It just co-ed's a little different.
Wow.
In terms of what you might be used to.
that is a hard schedule.
And you got the worst draw schedule I've ever seen.
No, they do end off.
they have a
Oof.
bunch of games late in the season though.
Oof.
They play 4 games in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Ooh.
So it's interesting. They do face Les Bleus, the game they faced after Northern Braves.
That could be a playoff implication. Late into the season against 2 teams that are currently 0-2.
I think Kylie Police is Carm's daughter.
Yep.
So to me, it's cool no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
even the season is a success once you took the field with your kid.
Yeah.
Period. That's gonna be the coolest thing in the world, right? That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm 40. I don't have a kid yet, so I'm never gonna have that experience. So, dude, that's awesome, man.
What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to play when you're 60?
Dude, I'm barely walking the day after games now. But I think that's gonna be it's interesting because there's not a ton of youth when the male players, Sean Kennedy, Adi Sharma, these are older FPF players who are talented, but
Yep.
they may have lost a step, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Where a lot of co-ed teams just have a lot of speed because it's a lot of youth.
Yes.
Whether it's university female players, whether it's women that have played in CJAP, players who play CJAP or university basketball, and then the young men that also play on these teams as well, right? It is when I started playing co-ed, I was shocked by how young it felt in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the overall team speed is going to be an issue, and I think that it's going to be interesting. I don't know enough about people like Annie Ainsley-Germain. I don't know enough about Anna Pavia, Kylie Police. I mean, she's learned stuff about the game, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Like she grew up in a Police household. I'm sure she loves football. I want to see what she becomes because, I want to see her take that step. But right now, she's the only female with catches. She's the only female with targets.
It's not a good sign.
Not a good sign.
Yeah.
I wonder what's worse, having Carmen Pelice as a father or as a quarterback when he's upset at you.
Oh, jeez.
Bam! Which is the tougher huddle?
Yeah, would I rather come home with a bad report card or drop a ball?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I feel like she doesn't drop passes because she's come home with a bad report card before.
She has 4 targets
the
and
one
2
time.
receptions.
One seeped into the other. Yeah.
She has 4 targets and 2 receptions, so 2 of them are someone's fault. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I think they're more in trouble, and it's a combination of the structure of the team. Ballbusters, yeah.
Oh, I think Les Bleus are more in trouble.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though we just read out that schedule, I guess everyone's schedule's tough, but that's remarkably difficult.
It is, yes, that's true.
I don't know. I feel like there's some unpredictability with Les Bleus. I feel like we kind of know what we're gonna get from Ballbusters, but hopefully they can turn around. We don't want anyone to struggle. By the way, we're not rooting against anybody.
No.
If anything, we tend to root for teams that are weaker because we like seeing underdogs. It's why my picks always suck. By the way, is I get so emotional in my picks
for the underdog.
Yeah. So who made a bigger statement in week 2? Kiss My Outlaws, winning 46-6 over Les Bleus, or the Funny Club beating Ballbusters. We talked about how those two teams struggled, but Kiss My Outlaws doing what good teams do, and the Funny Club doing what they're supposed to do. Good teams are supposed to beat bad teams, and they did that in spades. Spades? Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. I'll go with Funny Club there. Narrowly beating out Party Mix in week 1. Ballbusters are a good, we just read out the roster. They're good. To beat them by 19? Mm-hmm. You're proving that you're a team to be reckoned with. Whereas, beating Les Bleus by 40, where, someone said that in facing them, they should have been a co-ed 2 team, and they would have been a lower end co-ed 2.
You talked about the names on the team we just read, but have you seen the names on the Funny Club?
Yes. Oh, I know, but I can equally name you the same on Kiss My Outlaws.
Yes.
I mean, AJ Gomes, Stephen Haraprasad, Nick Gomez-Rizzo, Alexis Dubois on defense.
Jose Allard.
I like the qualifier on defense.
Rekka, and a name I will refuse to pronounce, but you know who you are.
Seva, where is it? Seva
Subramaniam.
Siva Subra, yeah, crap.
That one.
I practice it too.
Siva Subramaniam?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm usually good with names.
Take a flight. It helps you practice names.
Oh, okay, a flight, yeah.
You have a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with Funny Club. It's about who made the bigger statement. To me,
well, Kiss My Outlaws lost week 1, so I'm leaning Kiss My Outlaws.
But they were missing Nick Gomez-Rizzo and AJ Gomes.
Okay. Was their quarterback still not Stephen Haraprasad?
Yeah,
Is he not supposed to be at that same level as Joe Maheu?
Throwing against Northern Braves?
Yeah, but isn't he supposed to be at that level? I could tell. I hung out with him on the field on Monday. I could tell he wasn't happy.
I'm sure he wasn't.
He doesn't think he should have been blown out 40-15 regardless.
They were up. They were up 9 points. Or 8 points. They were in control of the game. I agree with you, but Northern Braves are a different beast.
Yeah, I agreed.
They have the 2 best female.
But they got blown out against Northern Braves
in the second half. But yeah.
Also in the game.
I know. To
in
me,
fact, it's worse because they got blown out in 22
Yes,
minutes.
that is what happened. Look, and it's still, to me, the fact that we're comparing these 2 games, though, in week 2.
I know, but I'm saying it's still with context, right? So, one team, they haven't like suffered adversity yet, whereas Kiss My Outlaws already has.
I guess.
So that's why it's a statement.
I guess. Yeah.
Also, it's boring if we say the same thing. So I have to
I
find a way to say the opposite thing.
I know.
Because that's how they put First Take
That's
together.
how you argue different positions. I understand the concept.
Despite scoring 1 TD less than All Stars, Flagmont Sack lost by 2 possessions.
Yes.
Um,
Crazy. I like, what is it? But they lost by 14, I believe.
Yeah.
And there was just a 1 touchdown difference.
Division 1, by the way,
Yes,
for those who are now not following.
Yeah, Mocon. The Mocon thing.
Again, just follow the show, Eagle. It's not complicated. Yeah, so the amount of times I've seen All Stars do this hurts.
Yeah.
It makes me wish I was better at everything in my life, that they can be this good at it. Like that Kevin Wyeth doesn't need the ball as many times as you to still beat you. It's insane.
And what you're referring to is that he's scoring a touchdown with his 2-point converts.
Yeah, constantly.
Yes.
Constantly.
He scored 7 extra points with his converts. It's a touchdown and an extra point with converts.
Yeah.
From his converts. So, do Flagmont Sac have to maybe revamp their 2-point playbook, perhaps? Not completely throw it in the trash, but take a look at maybe
If
a couple other
Alex
plays.
Nadeau-Pius doesn't if he doesn't throw an interception, they probably still lose.
That's what I'm suggesting. That's crazy.
I know. I was like, wait a second. I'm like, but what if he just cleans up the game? Nope.
No,
They still lose.
doesn't matter.
It literally doesn't matter.
I know. I saw it. I'm like 6-1, 6-1. I'm like, was there a pick six? Yes. I believe on both sides. I'm like, so where did
only for All Stars.
only Pat Jerome?
At some point,
It was on film, actually. Check our Instagram.
Oh, I must have missed out. Oh, I was in New York. Maybe that's why.
at some point, I heard there's internet now in New York.
I was at a show. I was like Eagle. I was really busy.
Fair. So
Yes.
in like 160 years, when the Earth is unfortunate enough to lose Kevin Wyeth,
Mm-hmm.
on the tombstone, it should just say like
2-point.
it wasn't fair.
Just-
The legacy leaves behind us. It just wasn't fair. Like that's it. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter
It's crazy.
that you were outscored. You still win. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense.
That's why, like, I open. I'm like, wow, they won by 11 points. They won by 2 possessions. They scored the same number of offensive touchdowns. It's crazy. So the question is, do Flagmont Sac have to do something with their 2-point? Because I'm sure they went
And
for
they did everything perfectly. They left Kevin Wyeth with 1 play at the end of the half. They scored, and they left Kevin Wyeth with 1
and
play.
he scored on it.
What?
And he scored on it.
They didn't score the convert.
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
saying they scored. No.
Oh, okay.
They left him with 1 play, and
And
then they started with the ball in the second half.
oh my god.
They did everything perfectly.
Yes.
And it didn't effing matter. Hey, you know what? No, that's it. On the tombstone, it just says,
It doesn't matter.
here lies Kevin Wyeth. It doesn't effing matter. That's it. That's it.
But they can do something.
I'm tired of saying the same thing about him for 10 years on this goddamn show. It doesn't. No, because nobody's
better.
Nobody's going to score that many times on 2-point convert except for him. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense, Iggy. I got nothing here, man. I'm sorry. I got nothing else to say. I've run out of synonyms for this guy's incredible. He's the GOAT. He's him. He's all that. It's everything. It doesn't effing matter.
So is it crazy to suggest that Kangaroos are more hurt by their 60-0 forfeit win than the Braves? I completely threw you off track. I'm moving on because there's nothing.
You tired of me screaming at you?
Yeah, yes. So again,
Here's your question.
so is it crazy to think that by winning 60-0 via forfeit, that the Kangaroos are more hurt by it than the Braves?
By the way, the reason why this forfeit happened, the Braves were actually in a international flag tournament in Tampa, Florida, and they oopsed when they made their schedule to forget to black out a couple dates.
I guess
That sucks because a lot of games were moved for that tournament because teams use the blackout.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
they
it
feel
won't
that
matter to the Braves because they'll make the playoffs. But
I mean, they fielded a roster in the past, so I'm sure they thought, well, we can field a roster of Charles Vero and other random guys that just show up and play as the Braves. Unfortunately, this time they couldn't do it. So the question is,
how does it hurt Kangaroos?
by not practicing after a 3-touchdown performance by Dan Lazara in week 1.
Okay.
Not getting the reps.
I mean, knowing him, he probably went to Hebert Dome, used the
No, he
keys
went
and
outside
ran reps.
and he
yeah.
threw outside in Hebert.
I mean, also that, yes.
He had
but-
guys running routes
right?
in Sorel boots.
But shaking off the rust in a real game, the missing out on the reps and getting a chance to get back into mid-season form in week 2.
But I mean, I'm sure he can literally call up the Hebert field owners, be like, "Yeah, I'm booking a practice for the Cougars," and it's just
practice
his
is
guys.
not-
how does Mo do a better Dan Lazara than you?
A guy. I mean,
There we go. That's a little rubbish.
I mean, they're all RDP.
That
so-
said, they face KGP Plus
In week 1?
in the next week.
Oh, okay.
Next game. And that's before they have their rematch against All Stars.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the get right game they need. I think
guess.
they'll be okay. They'll win that game, and then we're gonna have an awesome rematch between. We'll have the match we wanted week 1. I don't put a lot of stock in week 1 results because
Yeah, neither do I. Honestly,
there's a lot of times especially the come down after winning a championship, right? Oh, life's amazing. I'm on top of the world. I'm gonna go out there and be perfect because I'm the greatest. I just won a championship, right?
Uh-huh.
And unless you're Kevin White, then it doesn't have matter. Everyone's affected by it.
I felt the rust in week 1. I said it last week. I was behind the computer, but I felt the rust. Even though I won all my games, I just didn't throw. I threw one.
Stephen
pick.
Harper saw went 0-for-3
I just
in week 1.
yeah.
You said you had rust.
I
Dan
felt
Lazara
it.
throwing
felt
only
it.
3, only completing, by the way, 15 passes.
yeah.
Like
That's why don't you think they would have? I mean,
yes, but you're gonna take a free win against Braves if you can get it.
yeah.
Why not? You
Yeah.
know, and obviously, you'd rather play than not play. Period. Because
Yes.
in the end, you paid for these games, right? So
Yeah. But the 0 points against, does that help them in the
Yeah.
when
Tiebreakers.
Yes,
come
it's
season?
better than having points against. So sure.
Yeah. No, I understand.
it's
Quick
it's like
side note,
saying-
by the way, shout out to Phil Cutler and the rest of the KGP Plus team to play Div 1 because we always give shit for teams that don't do it. So kudos to you.
it's just music, soft.
Yep.
Soft.
That's 3 weeks in a row. Let's
What?
keep that. Let's make it a thing. It's 3 weeks in a row. Let's just make it a season.
Hey,
one
I
thing.
wouldn't look if Jesse told me, look, I don't think I'm ready yet. I'd be like, okay, man, you make that jump when you're ready.
Yeah.
I'm not as harsh when it comes to guys jumping up because I know there's a psychological element that you got to
Yeah.
feel ready.
Yeah.
But come on, you told me you're gonna do it, bro. You were sure. It wasn't like I think so. It was like yes. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
There's no pondering.
And he's good enough.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
absolutely good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So speaking of the Braves, them and Flagmoil Sac. We're talking about these 3 teams. They're all that, but none of them have a win. They're winless. They're both 0-1-1. Of course,
But they
Braves
tied each
were-
other.
tied each other, and then Braves forfeit, so they're winless. We've seen Braves come off to a slow start in recent years, but then rattle off 8 wins in a row.
Yeah.
Go into the playoffs on a heater and then ride the momentum all the way to a championship.
The thing is, they have that switch.
Yeah.
They have enough of a pedigree that they literally look different in the playoffs.
Yes,
They're
they're
just different in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And things just happen to go their way. Like George Gary P coming uncovered at midfield during an onside attempt.
How?
Do you not see it? The mountain in the middle of the field. He's a
Blind-
mountain.
Blind spots. Yeah.
Eagle, can we get Joey working on the advanced analytic ties above expected? Thank you.
Blind side routes.
Blindside. No, just ties. Just when a team ties, should they have tied more often or less
Oh
often?
my God.
It would be the most useless stat.
So, are you suggesting that Flagmoil Sac will have a harder time coming out of their 0-1-1 hole?
No, because
I mean, guys, remember, only one team technically gets eliminated from playoffs here, right? We're using NFL style, so one seed gets by, and then 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. So as long as they don't throw the rest of the season and they do better than Bulldogs and KGP Plus at this point, they're in.
Yep.
And I think that's pretty safe.
Yeah.
So then it's just get hot at the right time and make a run.
yeah, and essentially, I don't think it'll matter to either of these teams. And also, Flagmont Sack has the most carefree attitude of any team that's ever taken the field. I would be surprised. I'd be surprised if they remember the result next week when they take the field. Like it, they just look up at one point like, oh, we're in the playoffs. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. You
It's
know,
playoff
like
time, yeah.
it's I'm not particularly worried about it. I love Flagmont Sack's a team where it's largely been the same group of guys.
Yeah.
And they've sort of added pieces here and there, and they tend to bring them back. And people like Guillaume Paquette was a great addition along the way. Francis Rochelot,
Yep.
we've talked about on other teams in
Nick
the fall
Suzuki.
season. This is probably the best version of their team. That and what we saw last winter.
Yep.
I
I think they were record setting, and I forget what it was I saw recently, and I'm like, that was 2022 or 2020 where like they had the most points for or some.
it was the
stat.
year they won the championship, I believe.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was the year before last. But anyway,
Yeah.
the most recent run has
Yeah.
been the most impressive of,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
theirs, you know. And they were always that team just on the outside looking in, and they've kind of felt more to be that top tier recently, and it's been awesome to see. But they are leading the league right now in ties above expectation, because I did not expect them to have a tie. So, advanced analytics all over the place today.
Jason Rossi.
Are we? Sorry.
Jason Rossi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does Jason Rossi keep playing in the Legends division?
Because he's over 35.
No, but in the lower 35 plus division.
It's the lower of the two.
Yeah. Is it?
What?
I mean, that's not the way I have always understood it,
Yeah.
right? Like, isn't it like ones you register a team,
Oh,
the other
that's
one's a
the
draft?
team division versus the yeah.
I'm like,
It's just because I remember him.
The
I
lower
remember him
division.
like. I remember him walloping.
Yeah, this is the draft, and then this is a pre-registered
Yeah,
team.
you're right. You're right. I just remember him like walking through the division
the
last year
playoffs and everything.
and
yeah.
pissing off every team in the division, and they're doing it again.
Are they? They just squeaked out a win 18-12 over Rainmakers, who, you know, after a few years off are coming back.
Yeah, but that's a
That's-
former Division 1 like team, or not completely, but
Yeah, but
largely.
In the context where Rossi's continued to play and elevated his play over, you know, 3 seasons, and Rainmakers haven't played for at that high level for 4 to 5 years. They played in the Fall Cup 2021 or 2020 even in Division 6 or Tier 3 with Ryan Kastner throwing, Derek or the non QB. Anyways, they to only beat them 18-12. It sounds like your question was suggesting like I was expecting to see a 40-12 score line.
No, it's not that. It's just that I still expect them to go undefeated.
Maybe.
This is a close game. Look, Ryan Kastner at his height was the second or third or fourth best quarterback in FPF. He's not that anymore. I think the game's evolved a little bit. He's a little bit older. He hasn't had the same level of commitment. Obviously, he's got other things in life going on. I think he'll get there sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, just the way this team is composed in terms of pacemakers, they're, to me, a step above. And Jason Rossi, to me, is playing the best football. Like over the last couple of seasons, he's been playing the best football of all the quarterbacks in the division.
You don't like Monster with is it Peterkin or Peterkin?
Andrew Peterkin?
Peterkin?
Paterkin?
Dude, this is pre-Iggy era.
It's pre-Pete era, Andrew Peterkin.
There you go.
I know him only from 35 plus.
Paul LaPierre, Craig O'Brien, Tony Lala, Andrew Blevins.
Who's playing defense on this team?
Craig O'Brien, Carl Denis, Paul LaPierre, Tony Lala, Corey Cook, Dominic Tossi.
Yeah, I wish I got an answer to my question.
That's who's playing defense.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Ha.
I don't think they're going to be a strong enough defense. They've scored 77 points in the first 2 games, and they're 1-1.
They're gonna outscore their mistakes.
They're going to have to outscore everybody. They're going to have to outscore everyone. They beat Gladiator this week. Gladiator still put up 5 scores, right? So like,
Mm-hmm.
and by the way, it's cool. What's cool about this is all pre-Iggy era, but
Yeah.
Frank
Really
LeBeau is also, and Gladiators were also one of like these
Right.
top
That name.
teams in FPF.
I think I've heard that name from you guys.
They're,
here,
they're and they're more recent than Andrew Peterkin, right?
Yeah.
So like it's a lot of former Division 1 guys, right?
Right.
Like, or guys who just aged out of playing in the top division, basically. I like Gladiator. I think they're gonna be fun. I just think that there's something about the way pacemakers have been put together that they're just really solid across the board in a way that none of these teams are.
Is that a factor of still playing in the men's divisions?
Partially.
Yeah.
Like Jason Rossi's seeing things that are happening quicker.
Yeah.
Like I can't
Exactly.
tell you going from tier 2
Yeah.
to throwing in Division 4 how comfortable that felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
how much slower everything felt by
Yeah.
comparison,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I would imagine there's a bit of that going on for Jason Rossi.
Sure.
Playing in tier 1, playing in Division 3, Junkyard Dog, Division 3
Yep.
it's
It'll do that. Yeah. And the chemistry's built with Chris Brockwell, the Williams brothers, even Scott Binns in the spring season. I believe they threw together. So yeah, but I still see some competition there. I don't see it being the breeze. I think it's too early to say that.
I just like
That's
defensively. I think they're better. I think the Williamses,
yeah.
Yavar Ashfari,
Yabar.
Ashrafi. I should know the names of my teammates. Yavar Ashrafi is a really good defender, underrated.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Chris Brockwell is really usable on both sides of the ball. He's a guy who's a quick rusher, especially at 35 plus.
Yeah.
That's an advantage to have,
Yep.
right? So yeah, I think defensively they're stronger, and I think offensively everyone just plays their role perfectly, in a way that a lot of these teams don't really have that, in my opinion.
Fair. I think there's other teams that are ready to rise to the challenge.
Does
So-
the draft work in the KTFL division? Is it ultimate parity?
Does anyone actually know how the draft works? And this question is more
So
for
Ego,
Peas as not having been drafted as a quarterback.
So I believe the draft is when you leave the window open, air gets in.
I thought it was when you pour from the tap.
I believe that's pronounced draft.
Oh, yes.
Draft. Draft.
Draft.
I mean, look, it's a draft, man. They pick players.
Yeah, but like,
How?
who's
By choosing them.
online?
But who's
Online?
team captain? Is it in
Dude, none of
person?
these people can use the
Is it
internet.
like-
They're ancient.
Do you have to designate as a quarterback? Is that the first pick? Like,
Yeah,
how does it actually work out and everything? Like, I've never actually been there, nor will I for a couple more years. But yeah, it was,
It's too far.
Maybe
also
maybe Dave Allen should write it in his articles because he's writing for 35 plus.
either way. To your point, all the teams are 1-1, and all the teams are +-7. Just some are positive, some are
Wow.
negative.
It's amazing.
The ultimate parody. So clearly they're doing the draft right.
Yeah, it's like the Eastern Conference in the NBA right now. I don't know who's good. I don't know. I got nothing. I saw it. I was looking through it. And, like I'm not making my way out to Bader for you guys. I'm sorry. It's too far for me.
It's
I got
far.
too much to do. So I did.
You know what we
I
can
read
do?
through.
We
I
can
read
make it a
through.
road trip. We go get Smoke Me Pete's, and we go check out a game.
Oh, you know what?
If we're doing Smoky Pizza, I'm down.
I'll do that.
I'll do
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Let's do a road trip.
Is there
Pack
bowling
snacks.
in that area?
Is there what?
Is there bowling?
Maybe.
Well, what do you want to lose?
No. Apparently, it's a corporate event we do here at FPF.
MFR is Rain Man of bowling.
Well, you want to put $20 on the line, Eagle?
You'll lose that money.
Whoever has the worst
What's your
score
highest
pays
bo-
for the smoked meat. How
What's
about
your
that?
highest bowling score?
Do you know?
Probably like 140.
All right, so you'll be comparative to Iggy then.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not getting 300.
also,
but-
next question: is bowling 35 plus? Is it 8 minus and also 35 plus?
Oh, interesting. So, like, it's not between 8 and 35?
I feel like you can only play bowling between in the ages
Under-
of 0 to 8 and 35 plus. Like, when did you take
Like
it up
full-
again?
Like full-time? No. I don't. I go, like, once every 3 months now. And
Disagree.
once every
No,
4 months.
you're going on a weekly basis.
No, man.
It's ridiculous. It's
I know.
ridiculous.
A score high of 212. I hit 201 last month. If I hit, that was the second time I hit over 200. I
Yeah,
don't know
my-
why I'm good at bowling.
My high score in bowling is like 9 beers. That's my high score in bowling.
That was your last time we went out.
No, honestly, it's cool to see.
Yeah.
It's what you want in a draft division.
Yes.
You want all the teams to be about the same level. That's kind of been the thing that's kept KTFL alive and relevant through all these years is that
Mhm.
it's a league where people legitimately just show up, have a good time because you're not going to show up and get like stomped by another team. You're not going to show up and face a team where you know you don't have a chance. And we see that. And Paramount beat FPF this week,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's a 44-30 win. And okay, so they didn't have Jeff Rosenblatt in
Right.
FPF.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
But it's cool to see Chris Olsen, who, has made his way through FPF, having
16 of 19.
really a stellar day.
That's if that's not a perfect quarterback rating, 16 of
close.
19, 202 yards, 6 TDs. How do you? And it's not a perfect quarterback rating. It's 150.5. That's really, really good, great rating. But how is that not a 156.3?
158.3.
158.3?
Yeah.
156. Yeah, 158. How is that not a
I don't know, man.
I don't get it. 84 passing percentage. Come on. Anyways, that's a great day at the office for Chris Olsen. What do I see here? Yoni Lear being targeted a bunch. What's new?
Because Yoni Lear and Jeff Rosenblatt haven't played together yet this season.
Okay. When they do,
Yoni Lear has the most catches in an FPF game because one day Jeff Rosenblatt just decided to give him the record. And when he turns on like a 3-yard out, you can't be covered.
He missed on yards per attempt, by the way. That was the reason for it.
12.4 is not good enough, man.
Nope. No, that's per catch, per attempt.
Oh, per
is
attempt.
QBR. Yeah.
Oh, what does it say? What it has to be for a perfect score?
I mean, it's got to be close though, because 202 on 19 attempts is significant.
Yeah, to get a perfect rating. Hold on, I know.
But you know what's stupid,
10.
Eagle? It's not scaled to our field size.
That is true.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It probably would have been
you
like
got to double it, right?
Yeah.
More or less. So like just the yards per pass completion is 24.
yeah, like you know what I mean? It's a different sport.
Yeah.
Maybe let's get a call into our advanced analytics team and have them revise our QBR.
Yeah.
Go back and change all of them
Cap
in all
adjusted.
past games.
Cap adjusted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it fairly. I'm excited to see that pairing. I remember seeing them play together for years and years and years, and Yanni hasn't played in the FPF divisions in a while, so seeing him back at 35 plus, it's cool.
he
I don't know
kills
if
it every
he was
year.
a sub because he wasn't there week one.
Well, he kills it every year. Every time I see him, he has 10 receptions.
Yeah,
or
because he's
more.
literally unguardable, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he turns around and you have a boulder in front of you. Like, what are you gonna do about it?
And
he's quick too.
he
for his
takes
size.
off. Yeah.
And he's very aggressive on the ball.
You need 12.5 yards per attempt. He only scored 10.6. That's why.
Sheesh.
Only.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it's that now you know why he didn't get a perfect quarterback rating. There are 4 teams that are 0-2 in Division 5A. Clinkers, Backwoods, Tip Top Shape, Tokyo Sandblasters. Who's in the most trouble?
I have the answer because I played against
Which one?
Tokyo Sandblasters. Rocco Cristiano's kind of spearheading the team and taking on the leadership role there. Even him at one point in my game, I'm like, where's Rocco? I'm always looking for Rocco on the field, and it's like 2 consecutive drives where he's just like, I'm not going on the field anymore. They're gonna struggle.
What was he just trying to give guys reps or he checked out?
I think he checked out, but in fairness, he came back in and continued, learning the game. At the same time, I'm running my pace of an offense, which can be a little quicker. This is other than
They also face the Pizzicato next week, which
2
is
really, really tough matchups for them.
him. University's gonna be tough because of the athleticism.
Yeah,
And big fat bats are athletes also.
it's for they should have been Division 6. They're probably not Division 6 because Rocco probably has them busting the cap in 6.
Just one player though.
Maybe if they
He's not
fit,
throwing, obviously. So
if they could have fit in Division 6, they should have gone in Division 6 because they're learning the ropes.
Hey, hit us up, by the way. If you have a story as to why you registered for the division, let us know. Give us some backstory.
Yeah.
You know?
If
they were way over on defense, but their offense definitely fits.
yeah.
Well, then there we go.
So they're gonna struggle.
Actually,
They're-
wait
they're-
a minute. I'm looking at the wrong side. No, they actually are way over for Division 6 on both sides of the ball.
Okay.
I was looking at the Picarat.
Yeah, it's hard to fit a team in Division 6, to be fair.
Yeah, and it's the two 3 players, Rocco, Joseph Shaloub, and Matthew Capone, who have played with penetrators in the past.
Yeah.
Look, they wanted to make their own team and give it a try with some of their other friends. It's a learning curve. There was a butt fumble in my game.
That's hard to do in
The
FPS.
snapper butt fumbled it on the last play of the half, and we're like,
How?
he
It's a
snapped it
shotgun.
on his butt, and it just hit the ground.
He just didn't let go of the ball.
No, he let go, but it went straight up and right back down. So we're like, do it again. Have the final play, redo it.
The refs let it happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're like, let him do it. Let him redo it. Yeah, they're look, yeah. So they're gonna struggle. Matt Condré.
Is this as simple as just getting an actual quarterback?
That too? Because in week 1 they rolled with 3
But like
different
Eagle,
guys.
it's not like there's a quarterback tree out there. Like, I mean, I'm sure they know probably enough tackle guys, but like not everyone's necessarily available. Although this is the season where they would be available, is winter.
Rather, the concern on this roster
Is quarterback play.
is the quarterback play,
It-
right?
it-
Like
it
if you
really
if you
was.
get
It really
either
was.
pick someone and work with them to develop a playbook, and then
Yeah.
okay, fine,
And I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think Rocco's playbook is teachable.
He's the one
NFL.
calling the plays in the huddle.
Yeah, but I find that doesn't work.
That's
That's
wor-
the
that's-
biggest
I know.
struggle as a quarterback because
never
at that
works.
point you're executing, you're not learning, and it's
Yes.
very hard to read a field on plays you don't understand,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
it's the triple slant thing where we're gonna run triple slants. Yeah, but if you don't understand the concepts, the timing, the windows, it doesn't work.
Yes.
Anyone can run it, but you need to know how to
What
run
to
it,
look for.
not just do it.
Yeah, you need to know what to look for, when to look for it, people shooting certain gaps and positioning. They're going to struggle. The other
Yeah.
one where Marc-André Desaulniers is reaching out, for a bit of help with the Clinkers are amongst the teams there at 0-2. I think they're a team that can work it out as the season goes along.
That team should be good enough to win games.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Marc Andre's been away from the game a little bit.
A little bit.
And it's an offense, as you know, and I know, that requires spacing, timing.
Yeah.
9 interceptions in 2 weeks is a lot.
And this roster's good.
Yeah, it is.
What? Sorry?
The roster's good.
Yeah. I think it's just the lack of familiarity, not necessarily with the roster, because a lot of guys he's played with before, but just being on the field together for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he threw 5 interceptions this week. Look, it happens.
Yeah.
With
Against a Ballers team like
I think
that,
we had spoken about it, and I was telling him, like, it happened to me with the first week in co-ed last season, where you're throwing where you think the receiver's going to break, they don't break, and then the ball sails beyond that point,
Yeah.
and it's in a defender's hands.
Yeah.
You know?
And like week 1, 25-19 loss to Menace to Sobriety, he had a 19-0 lead. So he kind of let that one slide. So I'm not super concerned for Clinkers. I think they can work out the clinks.
The roster's strong enough. That to me, that's a playoff team.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So the other way to look at this is on 9 interceptions, assuming your opponent scores in every single one of them on their upcoming drive.
Yeah.
That's 54 points plus EPs. They had 55 scored against them over those 2 games, right? So if he just takes away the interceptions, he technically is never scored against conceptually.
Yeah. Glory Boys next. That's going to be tough for them. It's winnable if he protects the ball more than the 9 picks in 2 games.
He should win just because it's a team that I don't think has experience defending that kind of system.
They gave me fits.
But they're just good athletes, though. Like, that's
Yeah.
the thing. So
Yeah. So he might struggle again. He needs to protect the football.
Rather, it's Glory Boys that might struggle against Clinkers' defense because Glory Boys are not used to the coverage that Clinkers will usually offer.
Maybe.
yeah, it's possible. But if they turn the ball over a bunch, it won't matter because they'll get enough
Yeah.
cracks at it that they'll win the
exactly.
game. I don't remember how Backwoods Football Club did in previous seasons.
they played last year with Liam Gilmore,
Yeah.
Hennessy. I want to say 5-5 or maybe a 6-4 record.
I mean, because we've talked about Hennessy, Oraye.
I'm surprised they're 0-2.
Yeah. Look, they had Ham University week 1,
And-
who were a lot of freak athletes.
Yeah.
And they put up 37. So, like, they're in that game. They lost by a touchdown. They lost by another close one to Ice Up. Yeah, they'll be fine.
I think they'll be fine. Haven't seen Ice Up. I think you're more familiar with Max Marini, Mickey Marini. I think I missed them by a year or two of really following the league.
Yeah, they haven't been around for a little while.
Yeah. So I think that Ice Up team is a good one. So look, two tough matchups in your first three really. Red Knot Skins are a pretty good team. Look, Division 5A is good. Their schedule's tough. West Island Boys, Ballers, Buffalo Wild Wings, Glory Boys. I don't see too many wins, but they're going to be competitive in all their games. So I'm not overly concerned either with Backwoods Football Club.
When he stops playing football, how can you even define Dave DeAndre's quarterback play?
When what?
When he's done playing, how can you even explain Dave DeAndre's football play at the quarterback position?
A roller coaster?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
It's up and down.
Yeah.
I asked him yesterday. He was bailing us out with photography. Thanks again, Dave. What happened? And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just getting to know my receivers. It wasn't a great day at the office for him. I think
I saw him throwing to 5. I was like, oh, he's gonna be great.
Yeah, me too.
4 touchdowns in 2 games. Okay, rough start.
Getting to know with his receivers, a couple new guys on the team that he hasn't thrown with before that. Like we said, takes a second. I don't think his defense helped him out. When you're letting up 46, you easily find yourself forcing the ball, like we said, earlier
but
on
like
the show.
it's both sides, right? Where like
Yeah.
you're not scoring, you're not moving the ball, so they're getting good. They're getting good field position.
Yes, yeah.
They're scoring against you, so you're pressing more, so you're also not converting, so they're getting better field position again. Like the whole game gets out of sorts.
Yeah.
Big Fat Bats gonna be tough for them because
Sam Mashtub.
yeah, like that's a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
That's again we talked about last week. That's a big addition for them, right? So, and then Clinkers I think is where they'll start to see some teams more of the caliber, right?
Yeah.
So, that's going to be a defining. Sandblasters to your question, I think is probably or did I ask the question? I don't remember. Whoever asked the question.
Me.
To that question.
Yes.
I think they're going to be the worst of that group. There are 4 quarterbacks with 9 TDs after 2 games, 3 of which have come up from Division 6 and Division E. Of this bunch, who are you most impressed with in the quarterback development? Noel,
Sebastian
Stacey.
Noel, Matthew Yanakulgalis, and Zach Stacy, Matthew Zapatelli. And Liam Gilmore very closely behind at 8.
and Leon Gavor has a team that's 0-2, which is interesting.
Sebastian Noel's coming back. I felt like he already started his FPF career on a higher platform than guys like Zach Stacy, Matthew Zapatelli.
And the team is really good also. Well,
Yes.
you can say the same for Zach Stacy. Like those
Right.
2 teams are
Yeah.
really well built.
Yeah.
They were in the finals.
Yeah.
Well, in the case of Save the Turtles. So like, yeah.
The interceptions are concerning, though.
A little bit. Yeah. It's
Like, that's a season's worth if you want to get, like, QBOY caliber
Fair.
quarterbacks there. So, yeah.
For
you're
sure, but I
going with
think
your
the concern for them above all else is winning games, right? And there's also, by the way, I know Eagle mentioned, and Matthew Yanakoulis didn't make the list that we put together before the show, but also 9 touchdowns.
Yeah. Only because, well, again, his
Because he didn't come up.
Yeah, he didn't come up from the Division E's and Division 6s of FPF's past. But also because, 9 TDs, yes, but 6 interceptions, very, very high. My answer to the question, though, is Matthew Zapatelli.
I don't know if I'm
I know.
impressed with the rise because he was already making strides last season, and
Yep.
the fact that he's that fast and can buy time
Yeah.
gives him a great opportunity. And it's about him developing. He's gonna have to develop sort of pocket presence as time goes, but for now, be an athlete, make plays, and that's what he's doing.
But it's
And he has less around him than Zach Stacy, less around him than Sebastian.
well.
Well, no, they added Sam Mastu.
Sam
Never mind, never mind.
You're forgetting about Sam Mashu.
Because
But
before it was him and AJ, right? Like
Yes.
just that was and a great connection as it is.
Then they brought in a Simon Sanita last Fall Cup. He was like a wide receiver 2. Now you're putting Sam Mashtub at wide receiver 1 and AJ at wide receiver 2.
I think the way they run, AJ's still receiver 1.
I still think so.
He's the one who catches the short, like the yak receiver, the guy who's going to get yards after the catch, and the guy's going to just have easy convertible passes. It's going to be AJ Zapatelli. We see his yards per reception dropping because there's less missed tackles as you move up, but that's fine. Like, who cares? You're going to get 7 yards of reception to one of the fastest guys in the league who can just break it at any point? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to worry about having Sam Mashtub on the other side. Luca Lachese is also fast.
Yes.
You know, like the team speed here is really great, but the team speed, I think, for the overall receiving core that Zach Stacy has, like we've talked about, is ridiculous.
Yeah. I just like the one. Zapatelli was a gunslinger at all costs.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
The one interception.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
and
that a lot. He's protecting
it's being
the
a
ball.
little patient. It's buying time, change, and a lot of times being mobile enough means that you can change your throwing window.
Yeah.
Right. I've talked to you about little like designed rollouts with 3 or 4 steps just to clear the window away from the rusher. He can do that, but also just take off if he needs to. Right. So that's a big deal. We got 4 teams sitting with a 2-0 record in Division 5B. How would you rank Warriors, Primal, the Nicolas Cage movie, Green Monster, and Killer Rays?
In terms of I'm ranking them 1 through 4 from best to worst.
From least
Power
worried
rank
to
them.
least worried to most worried. Since we're doing worried, because we keep asking if we're worried about teams.
I'm worried. I'm anxious. It's
This
week
is the
2.
most worried podcast in North America.
I'm worried.
On your worryometer, where do you
Yes.
put them?
From least worried to most worried.
Yeah.
So number
Or
1.
since we're in St. Leonard, to all worried.
I'll go. It's close. Number 1 is going to be between Warriors and Killer Rays. I'll go Killer Rays. Number 2, Warriors. I'll go 3, Primal, and 4, Green Monster.
Why Green Monster solo?
They've taken a few seasons off, and I just think the competition that they've played so far isn't the same as the other 3 teams.
Fair.
Who have they faced? I was just on it. I have 18 tabs open.
They have played Ball So Hard U and Stormers.
It's why I keep going to the wrong division. It's 'cause
Yeah.
I also have 18 tabs open.
Now, they do have Primal next week, so
Yes.
that's like your deciding game. I mean,
Yeah.
in theory, if the teams are neutral for the rest of the season, then that actually is the one who would claim 1 seed in that
Right,
conference.
right.
So.
But for years, the issue with them was they weren't strong offensively.
Right? And now, well,
Patrick Jason
Yeah.
has learned a lot.
Yep.
He scored 8 touchdowns in 2 games.
yeah, that's good.
He's obviously a great defender. He scored. They have a rushing touchdown with James D'Souza as well. I'm impressed by that because the defense. We already know the defense is good.
Yes.
So
yes.
like, okay, they're not necessarily going to score 26 and 30 against everyone, but you know, if the defense can limit the other team to 4 scores, they can win any game. The question is, of course, playoff football. We know that's harder and harder to do.
Yes.
And Primal might be that first tough matchup for them.
Are they the underdog in that game? 3.5 point underdog?
I think I'd buy it down to 3 points, but yeah, I'd buy that half a point.
What could have been? I don't
Oh.
know if you're familiar with their offense, but they have studs. I think they're I think they're a slight underdog in that, maybe 1.5, 2 point underdog.
And they gave Primal all they could handle in the second half and just ran out of time.
Stormers?
And no, I'm saying
Oh,
what
what
could have
could've
been
been.
against Primal.
Yeah, yeah.
They gave him all they could. Like
Yeah.
that's a good team.
Yeah. So like, look, I'm giving them 1.5, 2 points, 3.5 point underdogs. I'm not I'm not saying that's a close game. Those are games that are coming down to extra points. So yeah, I think they're better than seasons past. But amongst those 3, Killer Rays have risen. All right, can't speak English.
No, they've risen.
They've
Like
risen
the
like
chocolate.
Christ or like yeast. They've risen. Anyways, they've risen the ranks really quickly. Warriors, they're just very hard to defend. Very athletic, very...
Warriors.
They're always atop.
Warriors are infuriating to play
Yes,
against.
yes. And the one that's I think is close is between Green Monster and Primal. And I just like their quarterback play. He's played now with the winning franchises of Jared Buck, one as a receiver, one as quarterback. So he now has championship pedigree under his belt, beating Lipetsk Sikarot. That was a very tough finals game in the spring season. I just like that experience, that playoff experience and victory that they've accumulated just more than Green Monster at this point.
Look, we've seen Médéric Lauzon in a quarterback of the year race already.
Yeah.
We know his ability. He subbed for me in a higher division.
Yep, I remember.
And just the way he understood the concepts
Yep.
and the spacing and like where he needed to be on his routes.
Yep.
I was like, oh no, this guy understands the game.
Yep.
And he has experience. I think he played in Terrebonne League.
And Tarbonne, yeah. You've mentioned
So that he's new to us, but he's not new to flag football. When you look at Killer Rays, I think they're the best of that bunch.
I think
I
so.
think they're probably the best team in 5B. They could have been a 5A team.
Yeah, they were probably they're probably the Mendoza line that cut just below.
The
Them
Mendoza line means the opposite thing that you think it means.
the inverse Mendoza line. Yeah, whatever. The bottom of the just shut.
I think I've explained that to you like 18 times.
Mendoza. I think them and penetrators.
Have you watched the baseball game in your life?
I think them and penetrators. I think them and penetrators were the cutoff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I like we expect them to be the two best teams, right? Like it's not
Them and
shocking
Warriors.
to see them doing well.
Which one of these games on their schedule is going to be their hardest challenge? And don't say week 12.
Week 12.
Week 12.
So we got to wait all year to see if they're good or not?
Well, I said week 12 because you were supposed to set up a clip.
I do have it ready.
Killer Rays, their hardest opponent. That's not week 12.
Him.
No, not that's the wrong him.
Yeah, I know. Also, stop with the same names.
Yeah.
Prime time was gonna. They tend to give him trouble.
Yeah. Prime time, and
Sexy can give him some trouble too. Maybe.
they have one stud.
Yeah, it just they can score.
With a team called Team Sexy, you should have more than one
They
stud.
look they
It should be all stud. It should be
They-
like a Chippendales cast.
they should change their name to Halo Effect, because they're like whether you're a guy looking at a group of girls or you're a girl looking at a group of guys, and one person's good looking and it makes everyone else look really good.
Yeah.
That's what Sam Anastopoulos is for Team Sexy. He makes everyone else look real sexy, but
Who's your swipe right candidate of the bunch?
So in this time that we've been filibustering talking about Team Sexy, did you bring up the Victor?
I have it
Buckman?
ready. I've had it ready for 10 minutes.
Okay, I don't know that, Eagle. You got to tell me what's happening on my own goddamn show.
the guy looking off to the side,
Yeah, genius.
down on one knee.
Genius.
Perfect.
That's the Halo.
Yeah.
Halo Sexy.
So why is Vic in a Box struggling this season? They're a notoriously very strong team. They have built the roster to be strong. Why are they winless after 2 games?
Great.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's a heavy document.
After all that, there we go.
So this we're watching as we talk about Vic in a Box.
Yeah.
We're watching highlights of their game against Red Dragons, in which, as of course, as you know, they didn't win. So
They tied that game 26-26.
yeah, it was a tie game. Of course, Max Bura is all over this video, unable to make, especially as it's a 4-minute clip, so we may
2.5. But yeah, continue talking.
Yeah. He's pretty much on in every clip playing safety here. There's just something missing. It might be the quarterback play. Jeff Taye?
Taye.
Yeah. I've seen him play. Look, he can definitely sling the ball, as you're seeing there. He's a competent quarterback. He maybe underthrows and overthrows his receivers a tad bit, but a team like Red Dragons, who have been improving in their own right, not like Killer Rays, not at the same pace, but they've been getting better. It's a team they should have beat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's not a complete team. Max Pura is the FPF glitch.
Yep.
He's like you said, he's everywhere.
So
and
is
like,
Craig Browning though.
yeah, Craig
Not
Browning's
this-
great too.
Yeah.
Cool. What else do they got?
Nicholas Sanchez, one
It's
of
fine.
the leading defenders and tackles, and like every single year it seems. Seb Zufol, pretty decent rusher. He has four
But so-
as he misses right there. Has 4 sacks on the season.
Seb Zufol doesn't. He's never been as involved in the offense. Nicholas Sanchez fine. I think Mickey Schwartz has thrown for them before, but I don't know if he fits the division. Jeff Taille, from the clips I'm seeing here, again,
good ball to
every
the
time we
outside.
talk
Yeah,
about
I know.
something, every time we talk about something, the opposite thing happens.
Yes.
I was going to say he holds the ball too long, and you
there-
see him immediately throw the ball on an out pattern for a touchdown, or a comeback rather, and we see him here completing
the extra
convert.
point for 2.
But early in that game, from the early clips, he had receivers open that I can see even with a limited scope.
Yeah.
And he's holding the ball long. I think that their defense is a little predictable. You know Max Beer is dropping deep each time.
Yes.
That doesn't necessarily make it easy to play, but it makes it easy to run a scheme against.
Yes.
And then you just have to play better than they do.
Look at this. It'll get slowed down on its own. So Eagle, you don't have to do
Nice.
anything. But this Max Bjork is gonna kill himself. That goes right through his arms, and for what I believe is a touchdown.
It is,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, and he caught it the way Christian Pulisic scored for the Team USA in the World Cup. He caught it with his groin,
Sure.
his penis,
Okay.
through the hands of Max Pira onto his penis.
I heard someone grab the ball with their nuts yesterday, and it made the most alarming thud sound. It was like, thunk.
No, I opt out. Opt out. Opt out.
I shuddered. It
out.
was painful.
But yeah, I think Jeff Taille, you said like he looks like a competent quarterback. I think he looks like a competent thrower of the football.
Is what I'm sorry. Yes, that is what I meant to say. But continue. Go ahead.
And I think that's a big part of it. And I
Yeah.
think the team is sort of tilted towards their 2 stars, and that's all they really have. That's all they really have. They what they have is Craig Browning and Max Pira, which is amazing,
Yeah, it's great.
but that's all they have.
So it's
They
two-dimensional.
have 2 receivers,
2-dimensional.
Yeah.
Gotta get to
which is better than
3D.
one-dimensional. to
Yeah.
be fair.
You gotta be 3D.
But it's
though.
Mario Brothers. You need to get 3D.
Yeah.
Get 3D.
Like the Alexi brothers now.
Hmm?
The Alexi brothers now, they're 3D now. The Jeans Lee,
Oh, that's true. Yes, sorry.
yes.
I didn't realize you were doing
Yes,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have been a better teammate and just played along. Yeah.
Ha! It disingenuous.
So I'm also realizing I don't live in a green screen, but for some reason I look like I'm dressed for a TED Talk today. I'm just really cold and threw a sweater on. But it looks
The hole in your eye, it's
the whole
back,
eyes
baby.
not helping either. Whole the eyes not helping either. In women's, of the 3 teams in red, who are you most worried about?
We talked a little
This is
bit.
women's 1, obviously.
Yeah, women's 1. We talked about Fleur de Lis taking a loss in week 1
Without their quarterback.
without Vanessa Beery. We saw her on the DMP list, so I'm not too worried about that if she is the future quarterback of this team. I'm worried about Fit Squad or Fit Squad
They haven't scored.
at 0 points after 2 games. That worries me a lot. The women's game. Would you say it's tailored for the offense? I mean, in some ways, it is. Just I don't know.
Are they good enough to be women's 1?
Maybe that's the thing.
Because look, Fleur de Lis is next. If Vanessa Beery plays, that's rough.
That's rough. Yeah.
Then Vortex. Then Trois-Rivières, Stars,
I think.
Blue Hood.
I mean, they have the pieces at receiver and snapper. Rekka's on the team. Alex Falcon Corb. Celestine Chartier is a very good defender. Stephanie Baudry-Zanotti of
They somehow
Brutes.
don't have passing stats, by the way.
Yes, I know. Maybe the quarterback hasn't.
But if you open the team sheets, the
They
the
have.
game sheets, they have passing stats.
That's that.
Carlo.
Yes. So they have the weapons. I think it looks like it's suggesting that they're missing a quarterback to complement those
And they
pieces.
face
I mean,
Bees.
quite literally, because there's no passing stats.
Yeah, but
But the thing Pease just said 1 minute ago, not even
No,
10
but
seconds
you
ago.
said they're missing a quarterback, and I'm like, yes, they are.
No, bro. Pay attention to the show. Steve Martin also was a prop comic. They went to the game without they faced Bees last. Bees didn't have Sarah Parker
Yeah.
and lost 25-0.
That's a game that
you
hey,
need to win that game.
Sarah Parker's not there. I mean, the other piece is Caroline Jobin is an amazing receiver. Amy Duel, Duel. Sana Ali,
Caroline fucking Joubert is ridiculous. Obviously, yes.
amazing receiver.
We know that.
Sana Ali tried defending a 6'2" receiver. She's great. Amelie Bentler, great receivers with great hands. But yes, that is a game. Sarah Parker's not there. You gotta be closer than 25-0. This has got to be a 25 to 23, 24 kind of game. If you're gonna lose.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. They look Alexandra Falcon-Korb and Rekha Siva-Subramaniam are absolutely two incredible players.
They're terrorizing it.
Yeah, but look, they combined for
5 receptions on 14
not even
targets.
50 yards.
And 5 receptions on 14 targets. That's not good. It's a
And
third of
knowing
the time.
those two players the way I do, it's not their lack of hands.
No. Or getting into the right position, but maybe getting into what the right position for Frédéric Chevalier, who threw 4 fit squad against Bees.
Whose stats collect in her player profile, but not on the team page.
I literally was just checking. I'm like, how does this happen?
I don't understand. Ghosts. It has to be ghosts.
Yeah, that was Ghosted. That was week 1.
Yeah, honestly, I'm equally worried about Fit Squad. Fit
Yeah.
Squad.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get easier for them. They basically only played Torrance last week of the season,
Right.
and Torrance is the other team that's been struggling.
Yeah.
Like through they've had 2 games. They scored 12 points. Okay, they played Stade de Trois-Rivières. They've played Vortex, who we expect to be 2 of the stronger teams.
But they're putting up points.
What?
They're putting up at least a touchdown
Yeah,
against really good teams. So I have a bit more hope for them. Look,
but we see Catherine Saguin throwing 7 interceptions.
Yeah.
Completing 31% of her passes. Just get something positive. Even if you're not getting at midfield, you need to at least move the ball to take up time.
Yeah.
To take up time is key.
yes,
You know, and
agreed.
that's part of it here. I'm worried about both because when you're playing against the university teams, it really gets tough. It really does get tough.
Yeah.
And we'll see. They play Ghosted next week, so maybe a slightly easier path. Although Ghosted look alright too. They put up 18 against Brut. They beat Fit Squad. Of course, we know Fit Squad's struggling, but that's a game Torrance should have a chance in.
Then, that's looking at the bottom of the standings. If we take a second to look at the top, you have Vortex and Brut both sitting at 2-0. Vortex, I mean, they seem to be able to...
What a luxury.
They seem to be, the opposite of, can they like lend a quarterback to Fit Squad? Like, then they would be a really good team. Vortex, they seem to be able to plug and play at the most important position. First, last season, Gab Vanier was the outstanding player coming out of the women's division. Now it's Anika Browns, the only quarterback in Women's 1 to have not thrown an interception this season, who's thrown more than like 2 passes.
Technically, QB Bleu Pou and Montreal U are also in that category because they haven't played a game yet.
I just said who have thrown more than 3 passes. It's like you're not listening. Because you're not listening.
Who's still more than 3 passes as a quarterback stat? 3? 3 is the number you went with?
Someone has like 2 passes, and they don't have a pick.
I mean, I was going to say a game's worth of completions, but 3.
Yeah, we could have gone for 15 passes at that point. But anyway, the point is, don't distract. You're not paying attention to today's show.
I am.
No, you're not. You're not. You literally 8 seconds after I said something, you repeated the same thing. The same thing. I swear you used the same words.
Actually,
It's called active
The
listening.
same thing.
no, it's not active. Anyway, actually, I was wrong. Catherine Pish has thrown 8 completions, 17 attempts.
Pretty sure it's Pichet, by the way.
Pish. But there's no accent on it. Why are you distracting the person who is concentrated on the show? She hasn't thrown an
Is it like
interception either.
is it active sabotage or are you just this talented?
So
It is Catherine Pichet, by the way.
yes, probably yes.
I checked on Facebook as you asked.
Yeah.
It was the point though.
So like, is this a question of Vortex being able to recruit and get great quarterbacks, or does this speak more to their great receiving core?
So I don't know the background of Vortex. I don't know where they're
Yeah,
from.
me neither. Hey, reach out again.
Reach out, by the way.
Yeah.
Tell us. Mode, you're on the. Sorry, not Mode. Marie, Marie, you're on our staff. Marie Laure Chaput. Reach out to us.
Yes.
Tell us about your team.
Yeah.
We want to know. The thing is, I saw like that Gav Vanier had 3 sacks. I was like, why is she rushing? Like,
Yeah,
why are you
right.
risking having your quarterback get hurt?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, she's not playing quarterback this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second, why is she not playing quarterback? She's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this other person,
Yeah.
Anika Browns, also looks ridiculous.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, Mo, because I know you're listening, and I know that you're upset that I was right. Because listen, I have an eye for talent like that. Vortex back to back, baby. Vortex going back to back. I know it's tougher. Vortex back to back champions. Let's do it.
Calling it already. Week
Calling the audible.
Calling the audible.
You said it.
Yeah.
You said it. Which middle of the pack team may rise to prominence? Like, we're not going to look at Montreal U and Blue Pud, obviously, because we know that they're going to be 2 of the top teams.
Yeah.
Not as good as Vortex, obviously, but right below. And then, which one of these middle pack teams do we think can rise? Is this a team like Ghosted or Stars the UTKR? Look, I'll include Bees because last time we saw Sarah Parker in women's division, she wasn't as dominant as we thought.
She was average.
Yeah.
And it keeps surprising me because she's so good in co-ed, right? She's a star.
But do the regular FPF rules fit
That's-
her skill set better than the women's division?
It might be the the fingerprint there on to the answer to this question we're trying to ask. I watch your games and I'm wanting more from Concordia, Bees, this iteration of the team. The answer should be Bees, but it's not going to end up being Bees. So I'm going to go with Stars of UQ TR. I just think getting a nice win, 35-6 over Torrance, as we just said, they've struggled. Got handled a bit by Brutes, 49-13. Again, that middle of the pack team, because they're going to struggle against Les Bleus, but against Bees, I think that's where they'll have. I see it's against Sarah Parker. I'm like, no, I can't go against Sarah Parker, but
I agree.
it's hard for me to say, like, even for myself, but I'll go with Stars.
Yeah. I'm leaning Bees. But there's something about Stars TKR it's
Intriguing.
QTR, sorry. That I think are interesting. It's cool to see them here. Them and Linkset, new to FPF. I love how fast the women's division has grown, man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's hard to keep up for us because
it
like
is.
if you just happen to not be at that field, it's hard to catch the games. And we're not as involved in that community because it is new to us, but we're trying to learn. So reach out to us. Tell us about your games. Marie-Laure is doing a great job of covering the division. Her first article was awesome. Looking forward to seeing more of that as well. So that's going to help us keep informed. And in the meantime, we'll keep grinding. We'll try and catch up. But do feel free to reach out to us and let us know what's happening in your division. In women's too, what can we make of Phoenix? We thought they might be matchup dependent, but they looked really impressive against Cavalier, which we thought would be one of the top teams in the division. They're well coached. They're a university team. They're a CJEP team with a lot of familiarity. What's this roster, by the way?
I don't know. I
Wow.
don't know if this is like a scorekeeper
I thought it
mistake
was
where they
never gonna
entered
end.
a bunch of people on the wrong team and had to oops it later, but my God, is this a roster?
I think everyone paid $15 to play. To play this on this team. But yeah. So what can you make of them?
Hard to say because Cavaliers were only able to put up 12 points in week 1. I thought they put up a few more than that. Cavaliers 20, 13, and 12. So you know what? About averaging 2 to 3 touchdowns a game.
Are you answering a question about a team I didn't ask about?
About their opponent.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I was making sure that you
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
eating out on me. I'm like,
No,
I can't do the show alone, Iggy.
No.
I can have one person not paying attention. I can't do both.
No, I was gonna suggest that Phoenix's D came up strong in this one, but that's pretty much what Cavaliers were averaging. I don't love that quarterback completion percentage. It's about 1/3, 13 of 35.
Yeah, and we know that because of the rules in women's, the completion percentage is lower than FPF
True.
major divisions, but below 40 is, or below
Well,
50 is
45.
further,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Below 50 is you're struggling to move the ball, but look, she 13.
She's not turning the ball over though.
That is the thing. She
Because
is
don't forget when you punt, the ball goes back to
punt. You don't
not
punt
punting when you're
when you turn
not
the ball
successful.
over on downs. Yeah.
Yeah, the other team gets the ball back in their own zone.
Yeah, so interceptions are huge, and that's what the Phoenix defense was able to do twice on Calliope Caminares, twice to get better field position. Interceptions by Beatrice Hainaut and Annie Ainsley-Germain were able to put Phoenix into primetime position, and Laurent Girard capitalized on that, right? So not turning the ball over and capitalizing on good field position, those are going to be successes into the women's division.
And also in week 1, Laurent Girard was not there as a quarterback, right? So them scoring 2 points in that game is not a testament to like a struggle of a game. It's literally we don't have our starting QB for our first game of the season. So who knows? They could have been 3-0.
Where do we think that they land in the landscape of the women's division here? Like, are they truly one of the top teams? Because we saw them lose without their quarterback and playing against probably the best team in women's too.
I mean, the QB ratio of 8 TDs to 1 INT, even though I don't like the completion percentage, I mean, that's still very respectable as a ratio, right? Like, if I tell you you're going to get 4 touchdowns a game and every 2 games you throw an interception, I'll take that every day. I mean, that's better than UP's, so... And I take you as a QB, so imagine.
Well, listen, I am the Mendoza line, and I'm using that properly.
I don't know. Are we doing Cara Babes and Linkset a disservice here by
Cara Babes to me is the best team.
Yeah.
In the division.
They're
Linkset
showing,
I haven't had a chance to see it.
They're showing at least reliability in scoring. 73 points in over 3 games is good.
I'm assuming Linkset are related to the Ottawa Lynx program because the Ottawa Lynx flag program because I got a
spam.
Well, no, like Instagram suggested I follow their page, which I did.
Okay.
Because that's how I'm trying to learn about the women's division by following more and more women's teams.
Sure.
But I'm not sure if it's all. I think I'm doing a minor league baseball thing with Ottawa. The Linkset and Lynx flag football program. I don't know if that's related, but I assumed that the algorithm was getting me there. Like I just assumed like, oh, it heard me talking on the show, and therefore it brought me to them.
Well,
but they've only lost 6 points all season.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And Red Nation was their first game, which Red Nation, despite their struggles, they're an experienced team here, and they're a talented team.
Yep.
So they faced Extreme Bullets in this past week, and they're a new team. But still, 6 points to 2 weeks is absolutely insane. Once we look at Extreme Bullets, awesome name, by the way.
Yeah.
It's the most 90s name of all time. I love it.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a flavor of Doritos. I'd eat Extreme Bullets, no problem. But
yeah, food over drink, Extreme Bullets.
Oh, yeah, okay, like a Mountain Dew.
Or it could be
energy drink.
A game.
A game? A board game.
A board
Extreme
game.
Bullets.
Extreme Bullets.
Not bad. Yeah. So this is another team where passing stats are not collecting. But they don't have a single receiver more than 3 receptions.
That's
In
after
2
2 games. That's
In
why.
one game rather. In 1 game.
Oh, then that's
okay.
a bit more fair.
Oh, sorry. And Alyssa Graf has 4. I think just based on the stats, she looks like she might be the snapper of the team. Sophie Gagnon threw 3 interceptions. They may have faced a wagon though in Linkset, right? They may have faced one of the top teams. So
Yeah.
what can we suggest to Extreme Bullets? Like, is it just, hey, you know what? You faced a tough team, move on to next week? Or is it, Sophie Gagnon, put yourself in position to make, to make more makeable 3rd and 4th downs, maybe take more time off the clock. Don't put your defense in a bad spot, essentially. Like that's the goal, I think, for them, is if they can avoid turnovers, if they can use a play clock and put the pressure on the other offense to have to score against them, we're at least not gonna see results like this, basically, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I think in their next opponent, Wildcats, who's 1-1, they do have to follow your suggested game plan, because in 2 games, Wildcats have been able to score 55 points. So limiting their offense, limiting the number of points they give up, is going to be a key to why they would win their first game after letting up 39 on
How do we
the
have 3
set.
divisions left?
Yes, I know.
Jesus. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. There's a lot of teams in FPF. We're trying to do our best to cover everyone. I don't have the clock on, so I don't even know how long we've been running.
Almost
2.5
hours.
What?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
let's be quicker.
Yes.
I mean, look, we have 3 divisions left, so we're getting there.
Can we break the show down to 2 podcasts this week?
No.
It's what I said. I told you it was long. I told him.
I'm checking them, man. We're not spending a lot of time on
I
this
know.
division. That's the thing. So
I know.
That's the worst part is I don't feel like we're covering that much. It's just so much.
A meeting is happening live on the show right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diamond Bougie, 26 versus Mengoose 24. Are we surprised Mengoose put up an admirable fight in Division 4 against Diamond Bougie? What do you think? Mengoose have the FPF veterans, but they don't have the quarterback play that Diamond Bougie have, right? So, like, that's the dynamic.
Yeah. I think so. I think, to be 2 points short of a victory over a team that just went to a final in Tier 3, led by Quebec flag stars Jules Regimbald and Félix Boutet. Even they've added, I think very dangerously, Félix Boutet and Gaspard Chernacek. So a guy that was there in the spring, and they replaced him with Félix Boutet in the fall. Combine them now both on the team. Maybe they don't both fit in the cap. They probably do, because they're probably both steals on a cap hit.
Because they also moved up, right? So
yes. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure they fit.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. So, I really think it's a testament to Mengoose's defense. I think it can carry them, as much as the flag game of FPF is an offensive showdown kind of game, and first to 30 points or 26 points in a game. I think their defense can keep them in a lot of the games, and that's despite, I think, Thomas Coutu not being on the team because he doesn't fit.
Yeah. Like, they have to make compromises somewhere. I like seeing Nick Schaefer as a receiver. Nick Schaefer, because he's a more pocket quarterback, we don't realize often how athletic he is.
And how,
but he is. He's a great athlete. Very rangy as well. They were in a game where Felix Monton threw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a testament, like I'm suggesting, to the defense, right?
Yeah, and we thought their defense would be good coming into the season, and that's going to be the case. You wrote this to break my heart.
Probably.
My heart was already broken when
yeah.
Hot Sauce Sports lost on the last play of the game. Ryan Garber did Ryan Garber things where he bought a million years against the rusher, and he threw a touchdown on the last play of the game. And you want to talk about the importance of rusher. You want to know who the four's best rusher is. You asked the question, but I'll frame it for you.
Well, just real quick. Find a rusher. You gotta stop.
We have one more option. We have an Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's our only hope.
All right, Obi-Wan it is.
Here's the thing: when you have 4 players that eat up 90% of your cap, it's tough. It's tough.
I get it, but dive deep into the free
okay,
agency pool.
Let me ask you a question, and I know it's my team, so I hate to spend too much time with this, but I called the timeout. I went on the field, and I suggested Not like no offense to Matthew Chadwick. It's not.
It's just
It's
not.
a rough situation for him to be in.
It is. It is.
I knew Garber was gonna buy time
You can't put him in that position.
for sure. I suggested send Justin Blanchard
yeah.
and have everyone bump the receiver.
Yeah.
I got waved off by Justin Blanchard, who said, "No, we gotta send Chadwick and keep our best guys in coverage."
So not only did Chadwick get burned as a rusher, but Blanchard got burned on the coverage.
That's the worst part. The worst part is, like, he's like, I took a year off, I had a kid, and I feel old and slow, and I got burned on the coverage. Yeah,
The worst part is
he told Chadwick after the game, he's like, "Bro, that wasn't you. That was on me.
Yeah.
I got beat. I got beat because I forgot there was a guy behind me, even though I saw him behind me 2 seconds before."
You even see it in the clip. He steps up to try and take away the run, and then the guy is just standing right behind
Why
him.
did he try to take away the run? Garber was not going to try and run them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. I
Pointless.
know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
but you asked who the best rusher is in division. We don't have Joey Notaro on our team because we tried to fit lower division for and so this season we're not playing together. We saw the impact of not having him on the team. I think having him is massive. Him and Isaiah Lard are up there. Zach Alberts-Gill, the cocaine bear.
Yeah.
Gab Wiseman. All four of these very different style rushers. Although the closest in style is weirdly Isaiah Lard and Joey Notaro.
I'll throw another one out there. It's Mr. Luca Canville.
Yeah, your dude.
Yeah, I said this in the off season because I saw him like even guys in the scrimmage game in the FPF off season. They're like, even Joey's like, "Who's this rusher?" And I'm like, "Well, you know him more as the offensive threat, the speedster that is Luca Canville." I'm like, I think he could be with more seasoning and experience. He could be the next Thomas Kutsu. He has.
He's very good.
If he has 4 sacks, and they all came in one game against Tiamoko Sanogo of Mofos.
Yeah.
He chased him down.
Say it again.
Tiamoko Sanogo?
Of Mofo?
Of
Say it 3 times fast.
No. No. I'm like, this guy's could be the next Thomas Kutsu, where he's a 2-way threat at rusher and offensive, where he's putting like 80 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, and like 3 or 4 sacks. Is it huge? That type of player is such an impact.
I want to mention three dudes that you didn't.
Sure,
bring.
go.
They're also amongst the leaders in sacks, also, but they are really good.
Philip
Boyer is amazing.
Is one of them going to be Jonathan Steinberg?
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
But
Philip Boyer.
I did something really annoying to him, and he was so mad. But I'll tell you, after the game, he was like, "Dude, you're infuriating."
Yeah.
Philip Boyer, he has 5 sacks already from left and left leg. He's very good.
Yeah.
I've seen him rush before. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Santino Sperania is ridiculous.
Yes.
Just
I'm sure.
freak athlete.
Yes.
So just being that level athlete isn't fair, and he's not fair.
It puts you up in there, yeah.
Jonathan Steinberg's really good, but
he's good.
They won the game because he knocked down a pass where it was an easy completion for first, and then I went for it on fourth and we got intercepted.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we don't get stopped that game.
Right.
He had the most. The interception wasn't the most impactful play of the game.
Was the tip.
His knockdown was the most impactful play. I kept running motions to the side he was rushing from.
Yes.
And he likes to take away the angle from the rusher.
Yes.
But now he has the rusher and the inside receiver, and he can't do both. And so basically, the angle he took away, my short read would be the next person.
Right.
And he hated that.
Yeah.
He hated it so much.
Yeah.
He's like, it's the thing I do best, and you made it a non-factor.
Yeah.
And so like, shout out to him for
he's good,
recognizing it.
Yeah.
And for still trying to adapt within the game. And look, he still got a sack in the game. He still applied pressure, and he still had the most
hard.
play.
Sacking you is hard. It's not. It's harder than what you would think.
Well, because I'm not trying to move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just
trying to get rid of the ball, basically.
Yes, you're
right?
releasing the ball quick. Yeah.
And again, it's not about sacking me per se. It's the way he managed that situation where I specifically tried to neutralize him, and he still had the most impactful play of the game. By the way, quarterbacks, motions affect rushers in a way you don't expect it to.
Yeah.
You're
talking to me because I don't move either.
Yes, I'm specifically speaking to you.
I know.
But you will.
I have a motion play.
Yeah.
I have a motion play. Division 6.
What?
Division 6.
We're not doing group of death?
No.
All right.
No. Division 6.
Towers FT put up 72 against Gyprock State University, which is one of my favorite team names.
I've never seen 72 points.
Yeah.
I've never seen 72 points.
Were they late?
No, it was
no.
It was all,
Unfortunately not.
I was at the complex, but it was just the other field.
Eagle, are we going to go pay a visit?
5 touchdowns, 4 pick sixes, 2 rushing touchdowns,
Oh
3
my.
2 extra points.
Oh my.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Eagle and I will try to make it to one of your games, Gyprock State. Try and give you
5
some
quarterbacks.
input. You have too many guys trying to throw the ball. Make a decision. One person has to learn how to play
Yes.
quarterback.
Yes. And even if it's hard, because it's hard, and
It's
it's hard to watch and hard to like see it play out, stick with one guy. Trust me. I know it's hard. It's a hard position.
I've thrown 30 interceptions in a season.
I haven't, but it's
You're better than me. We know this already.
No, but they don't know who I am and
know.
my
But
my
but
progression
that's-
and whatnot.
I'm not
I
using-
didn't start off.
I'm raising my hand there just to say
Yeah.
that, listen,
Yeah.
I'm not speaking like, oh, I'm great, so I know everything. No,
No,
I learned
exactly.
because I struggled.
Yes.
And you're struggling, that's
yes,
fine.
Yes. It's gonna happen.
FPF it's not a beer league. This is a hard league.
Yes.
This is a hard league to win in.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So definitely reach out. We can suggest plays to help you out.
I have a series of articles that I wrote that not only show you the play art but break down how to read the play.
It's very
Iggy can attest to how effective that is.
Yeah.
I keep saying it. If I can do it, anyone can do it because I'm literally anybody.
Yeah. He's not
Gyprock
kidding.
State, choose one quarterback.
Yeah.
Make him take his lumps. Defensively, Eagle, what would you suggest?
Understand when you can and can't play man coverage. Your biggest weakness is going to be your worst matchup. And so first off, try and get the best matchups on your team. And if you just don't have them, then understand that concept's not going to work. Learn how to the principle of zone coverage. Once you understand that, play to your team's strength. The ball hawks go as your safeties. Your best tacklers go as your flats, and then work from that particular system and everything. Try and build a rapport. Try and understand your responsibilities. Try and understand when to hand off, when to chase. And just, honestly, don't over-strategize your defense. Pick a style, play it well, play it as the only starting point until you get a familiarity in the concepts, and then start expanding into the creative stuff.
To Eagle's point, when Eagle reached out to me for I reached out to Eagle for help in my first season FPF. He worked in the media along with one of the writers, Andrew Dana. They brought us in. They kind of showed us some stuff. Defensively, first of all, our first season we went 0-9-1. Our second season we went 7-3. Our third season we went 10-0. In that time, we played 2 defenses. We played man and cover 2. We dropped the same 2 safeties every time.
Jesus.
That was it because we couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
But we decided let's be really good at these 2 things, and then we figured out an offense that worked for us, and it was, look, within a calendar year,
Yeah.
we went from 0-9-1 to 10-0.
Yeah. It's possible. It's hard, but I think lower division quarterbacks aren't good as reading coverage right away. I mean, don't show it. Try not to show it.
Yeah,
At
don't
least.
then,
show it, but drop the same.
Honestly,
people.
even then,
Yeah.
Even-
it's,
but
it's
even
at that point.
Even then, it won't be
Yeah.
72.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
yeah.
then, it won't be 72.
Yeah.
And obviously, try and keep the ball in your receiver's hands and not the opponent's.
Yeah, and again, reach out, talk to us. If you see us in the field, talk to us. If you hit me up on Facebook, on Instagram, Pete Del Rocca on Instagram, Pete Del Rees on Facebook. Reach out to Iggy. Reach out to Eagle. We're all here to help. It's a community, and we're happy to help out.
2-0 teams
Yeah.
in Division 6. Now looking at the higher, the teams that are doing well here. Pease, what kind of 2-0 Division 6 team would you rather be? Would you want to be a team that has FPF junior experience like the X-Men do? Would you want to be one with tackle experience, what I believe the LaSalle Warriors
yeah.
midget, or one with flag experience, but not necessarily FPF specific gameplay experience, but with flag experience like
Or what about
Dewey,
a higher
Malas.
division team with like the junior team of a higher division
like
team,
the Baby Rays,
like Baby
right?
Rays, right? Like the
Yeah.
That's another example. Too.
Yes, that is definitely one with a newer quarterback. Your answer, please.
My answer?
Yes. Who would you?
The one that scores the most points.
Which is?
Probably FPF experience. FPF or FPF junior.
Oh, I thought you were literally going to go with the most points for,
Yeah, also that.
which is the LaSalle Warriors
I know,
midget.
but I think at times
The LaSalle Warriors midget.
yeah.
Tell me when you want me to cue it up.
The
Let's just
LaSalle
fucking
Warriors midget.
He said it 8 times.
No, he didn't say we have a video of it. He just
my
said
God,
the
it's-
name of the team
Dude,
over and over
Dude,
again.
this is not the David Letterman show. He doesn't have to say, "Oh, we have a clip," and then I'm supposed to say, "Oh, do we?"
What are we watching?
Look, they're gonna be good. They have athletes. They can play football. They have a good feel for the game. I think they're gonna make mistakes in terms of getting some untimely penalties, and they're gonna get out schemed a couple of times by some of a team like maybe Baby Rays.
Yeah.
But it looks like they can cover. It looks like they have great offense. I don't love that the quarterback immediately rolls out on most plays. He's limiting himself to throwing to half the field at a time. As we see there, he's throwing into double coverage just because that was the only thing he had on that side of the field.
It looks like they have flag experience though, and maybe they do.
They might because
maybe
it's
a
more
bit
and
of
more
mix.
common, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, my God, he had 212 passing yards, 100 rushing yards. The guy had over 300 yards in offense. A rushing TD, 5 passing TDs, 1 interception on a shovel pass. As the Eagles intently watching and then analyzing, they have a bit of everything, and this is my team like that I'd rather have.
Yeah.
Generally,
I mean, Emerson Peterkin did play for Black Bulls in FPF Junior. I think it's FPF Junior. I could be wrong. It could be it's FPF Junior.
What are you seeing, Eagle?
I mean, I'm just trying to look at their system essentially in terms of how they're running stuff. But yeah, it's just. I always hate QBs throwing up a ball like that just for a jump situation and everything.
Well, the other team, Dime Squad, looks to be a brand new team. They're going to need to learn the concepts kind of on the go. They look athletic. It looks like they're playing a lot of man a lot of this times, and which is when the QB was able to run for 100 yards. Why do they wear the the hooded black and white covering the entire mask indoors?
What I really like about their QB, if someone can get me his name, is that on all the plays, he's not looking at the rusher. Look at his eyes. He's looking for receivers, right? And I think that's really going to help him develop. Now, that being said, sometimes
chill in the pocket a little, though.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Like on that play, for example.
Yep.
So
It's
that said-
it's Peterkin's son.
Oh, I wasn't sure.
Yes. Well, I think so.
Okay.
I would assume.
I mean, it could be
both.
If
both
anything,
great,
then he's learned
well,
from a
both-
great FPF quarterback.
right.
So that's awesome.
both great quarterbacks. That would be my assumption.
The other thing is with regards to 2-0 teams, I wonder if you have any early False King nominees.
I do like what Dewey Malas did against the Royals and Ryan McGrath. So I like that victory.
Not doing my last.
So not Dewey Malas. I'll go with X-Men then. Of the
Really, I like X-Men.
I do, but I just think they beat up on.
Son of another great FPF quarterback.
Yes. I can't. That's another. Yeah, Gautama.
Guatemala.
Way to rush through it.
I always do this. Yeah, Guatemala. Yeah,
It's
Guatemala.
my fault. I
Gautama.
switched you up on purpose.
Gautama makes me, anyways, whatever. I have too many running thoughts in my head. I'll go with X-Men. Just because they've played two rather inexperienced teams. So.
Fair, but I think Swaminathan's going to have a good season.
Yeah,
Because that's how you say the...
absolutely.
you say the
No,
name.
absolutely. But the false king principle
Yeah.
is that you have a great record, but you didn't really face stiff competition.
Well, the Level Midnight did win this week, so maybe they are that good, right? We'll see. We'll see as that goes.
Yep.
They face Back to the Future in a couple of weeks. That'll be a good game.
Yeah.
Trailer Park Boys, if they get things right, will be tough too. Wild Hogs are an interesting team as well. Although generally the schedule doesn't look that tough
For
for
X-Men?
X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they might be false kings. That's well answered considering how I thought I was putting you on the spot here.
Mm-hmm.
Div 2 and Touch Foot 450 has a lot of adapting to do in FPF. In pregame, someone who doesn't know FPF would have thought that 450 had an advantage over a smaller stature team like Moretti, Crime Family. But we talked last week about how Moretti's offense is infuriating for teams, especially Touch Foot 450 might not know them, right?
Most of them don't. Like it's another Jeans Alexi led team. Yeah, you just look at the monsters he's bringing on the field. You're like, whoa. They're if you don't know FPF, if you don't know Moretti Crime Family on the other side, you're like, yeah, these guys are gonna get smoked. No, the complete opposite. Taking URs and OCs and just being overly aggressive on these smaller, shifty, quick releasing. But you know the Joey Taylor offense.
But that's the way, like
how you combat that.
When teams have been successful against them, it's been aggressive man defense, disrupting routes,
of course,
literally knocking dudes down. I know you're not supposed to, but if you get away with it, like.
Well, I mean, there's also what I'll describe as the intimidation factor, right? Like you run too many in routes where a guy collides with you one too many times, suddenly you start peeling up a little bit, you start not reaching as far, you start looking to see if there's someone in the space you're going into. I mean,
we're not saying hit anybody, by the way.
No.
Contact your receiver, but not hitting your receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, also, there's a concept, a lot of DBs and FPF don't know it, that the whole stand your ground. If you're a defender and you're planted in a spot, you have right to that space.
Yeah.
And so a lot of receivers completely don't expect you to be exactly in the way of their route, and there's nothing they can do about it except they have to go around you. So if you can anticipate the pattern and put yourself exactly where you think the ball is going to be, you take But if you know it's coming and you know the play, the receiver can't get there, the QB can't get there, and it disrupts all the timing.
Yeah, but I'll say what Mo says all the time. They Touch Foot 450 were completely bamboozled.
Oh yeah,
they were 2 steps behind, hooking, holding after the catch was made, running into the receivers after contact to the head sometimes, and they were getting slightly upset. It wasn't never out of control, but like they seemed frustrated. And that's what a team
I'm sure they felt like they shouldn't be losing to a team that looks like Moretti Crime.
Exactly.
So does everyone say that in Division 1 and 2.
There was even a play where Dominic Benevento got held twice, and like by two different guys. There were 2 penalties on the play for holding, and they like literally just grabbed his jersey. He got through, and another guy just grabbed his jersey. Like it was just really funny. I think it summed up a lot of the play.
I was going to say, especially for Touch 450, after playing Got Skills and winning by 1 point earlier on, like the week before, essentially, and then to go in to play that game against Moretti and be like, what style of football is this, right? I think that's like, welcome to the league, and also this is what's happening.
And we've talked about it all show, right? Like finding styles that best fit the people on your team and fit the quarterback. Nobody's done that better than Joey Taylor.
Yeah,
nobody's done that better than Joey Taylor.
This was the game, by the way, where there was 2 penalties after a touchdown, and I'm like, you should probably think about going for the onside kick. That was this game.
I mean, it worked. They won 36-10, the weirdest FPF score I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know how they got a field goal, but whatever. Which of the winless teams are you most concerned about? I know a few of them have only played a single game, but what do we think about their prospects based on how the rosters stack up in Div 2? I worded that like a Mo Khan question. I'm very proud of myself.
I don't even know how you worded it. I'm just going with
poorly.
Yeah. What are you asking again?
Of the winless teams, which one?
The question is in the first part, and then the second line is subtext. So the question is, which of the winless teams are most concerned about? Then you can. Then when I'm saying the second sentence, Iggy, that's when you're researching. Because now I'm just adding context, so to buy you time. Yeah. And in that I said, I know a few of them have only played a single game.
I see.
But what do we think about their prospects based on how they stack up in Div 2?
These teams being Got Skills, Killa Bees, KGP, Blessed, and Terror Squad.
Hey,
of which Terror Squads played 2 games. Everyone else won.
Here's my answer. None of them.
Okay.
I'm not worried about any of them.
So of the 12 teams, not the bottom 5 are who you're worried about. So which of your top 7s are you worried for?
based from what I saw yesterday, Touch Foot 450.
Okay.
They're very athletic. I'm not saying they're bad at football. They're just not yet good at FPF, flag football.
But in using that same concept, they beat God's skills,
I
of
don't
which
know
you're
how.
not worried about.
I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know how that happened.
I'm worried about Killer Bees and Terror Squad. Terror Squad has these seasons where they just don't seem themselves.
Yeah,
I like Chalfero being on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Rome's on the team. He's not always. He's often there, but not always there. Tommy Rolly Trojado's back from Mexico playing pro ball. This team should be good. Vincent Malo is exceptional.
Is one of the Pilon brothers on the team? How are you worried about this team? Serge Pilon's on the team.
Because
Also, if you need a lawyer, a mediator,
they
or a
lost
notary.
the Murray crime family.
What?
If you need a lawyer, a notary, or a mediator, you know who to call.
Terror Squad.
Who?
That they're advertising it
Oh,
on the
okay,
yellow,
I can't see
on the yellow, on the orange. I'm tired. It's late.
So maybe they should have done a better job in their case against Murray crime family.
Lost by 1 point.
They lost by a point though. But like Terror Squad, if you just look at the roster alone, better than Murray crime family.
Yeah.
And then they get crushed against Run It Once. Like, so I don't know. What have they shown you to make you not worried about them, other than the names on the roster?
I guess I'm going with the name. The name.
That's fine,
talent.
but like at some point the results have to matter, right? And I know it's early, but
That's it. Well, then you know it's early. Well, then it's because it's early.
yeah, well, it's getting early late.
It's late. It is late.
It's getting late early,
It's almost 11 o'clock.
You know,
Just FYI for the audience
I'm
here.
so tired. And then of course Killer Bees, like, I don't know. There's nothing on this team that really sticks out to me. Pat Chenard, yes, we know how good he is. Quarterback is probably not his best position. I'd say it's
Really?
Receiver, defense, and quarterback. It's his worst position, which is not taking much away because he's really
Yeah.
great at those other things.
Yeah.
I like JC Vien. I don't know. I know they've only played a single game. They played Party Crashers Blue, but
Yeah.
Party Crashers are pretty predictable, and that's a game where I thought Pat Chenard's defense could keep it close. Now they go face KGP and Braves 2.0 and then Vengeance. So you might be 4-0 before you know
That's tough. That's a tough stretch of games there.
it.
Yeah, you might be 0-4 by the time you set foot against Touchfoot 4-5-0, right?
Yeah.
At which point maybe that's a harder matchup at that point. You know, by come February, maybe 4-5-0 starts getting the idea of how to run defenses.
Yeah.
And offense.
UM's Jesse Dupuis was perfect. He went 17 for 17. Perfect game.
Div 1?
Nope.
In his 1 week of play. When will UM face adversity?
When is he going to face adversity?
You need to know what the question is before being snarky. You need to actually pay attention.
When he plays in Division 1.
All right. So they're going to go clean sweep through the division?
No, I think they'll well, he himself is not going to struggle against Moretti crime family. Their defense will. I think no one's used to seeing the Joey Taylor offense in the higher divisions.
I think he knows it though.
Yeah.
No.
He's
He's played against him in Div 3 back in the day.
Like him on offense against their defense is going to be fine.
Yeah.
But the opposite.
But again, Jesse's seen that offense enough, I think.
Maybe
if they figure it out. Maybe the end of the season, run it once and vengeance.
Yeah, I was just gonna say near the end of the season.
Imagine going 8-0 and then they finish 8-2.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Could happen. Yeah,
I can see it.
I see that. Yeah.
Games of the week.
We're doing this?
Oh, you see, I told didn't I say like, man, the games of the week.
No, we'll do it. I mean, we should do it.
Yeah,
People
let's do
like it.
Yeah, let's do it.
And
They like it
fine.
only because they can yell at us for not picking them. That's it.
And then there should be a few bye weeks, so they won't be necessarily as long.
They'll all be long though.
Yeah,
they won't be as long. They'll be
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
I don't even remember where I parked. I feel like it was 3 days ago.
We're at the. Did you park at the park?
I did, yeah.
Music's on now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Thank you.
So
man.
it's
I wouldn't have
coming.
known.
It's coming.
Division 1, Flagmoil Sac, Braves.
Braves.
I'll go FML.
KGP Plus, Kangaroos.
Kangaroos.
Yeah, I'll go Kangaroos.
All-Stars, Braves.
All Stars.
Yeah, I'll go All Stars.
Double Straddle, Bulldogs.
DS.
I'll go DS.
All right, we're going to go Div 2, KGP Blessed.
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 Urgence Medic, got skills.
UM.
Terror Squad, Party Crashers Blue.
Terror Squad.
I'll go Terror Squad, not word.
Killer Bees, KGP.
KGP.
Urgence Medic, Meridian Crime Family.
UM.
I'll go Crime Family.
Vengeance, Braves 2.0.
Ooh, that's good.
Wow, it's the same week as All Stars Braves.
Oh, cool.
I'll go Braves 2.0.
I'll go Vengeance.
Touch Foot 450, Run It Once.
Run it once.
Yeah, run it once.
Division 3, Alpha Dogs, Les Gros Coq.
LGC.
LGC.
Speed Academy, Green Munches.
I'll go Green Munch.
Speed Academy.
Greendale Human Beings, Beer Belly Brigade.
Greendale.
GH.
GHB.
Yeah.
Blackouts, Blue Chips.
Blackouts.
Blue Chips.
Les Verges Folles, Free Smoke 1.
Free Smoke 1.
Les Verts Folles.
Une phrase bien fournie, Mangoose.
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 Blues Clues, The Stoics.
Interesting.
Stoics.
I'll go Blues Clues.
The Infantry, Bearskins.
Infantry.
Infantry.
Preach, Silent Tickler.
That's good. That's a good matchup. I'll go Silent Ticklers. Really close game.
Agreed.
Never Overtime, Les Gros Coq.
LGC.
Same.
Easy W, Air Force 1.
AF1.
Yeah, AF1.
Les Maluds, Junkyard Dogs.
JYD.
I think Les Maluds continue to be winless. Junkyard Dogs.
Arouche, GLHF.
GIHF.
Roosh.
That's What She Said, Mongoose.
Mongoose.
I'll go That's What She Said.
Division 4, In and Out, Ball Don't Lie.
Ball Don't Lie.
Yeah, Ball Don't Lie.
Trap Stars, Blue Dreamers.
Blue Dreamers.
Blue Dreamers, but it's close.
Cunning Stunts, Les Jet Plein.
Stunts.
Stunts.
Still CRA, Voodoo.
Still Cray.
Voodoo.
Wide Open Bar, Friends with Danny.
Danny.
Friends with Danny.
Golden Eagles, Diamond Bougie.
Golden
Di-
Eagles.
Diamond Bougie.
Kiss My In-Laws, Fourth and Schlong.
In-laws.
I can't pick it.
Les Bébés Magiques, The Sheriff.
Sheriff.
Nomads, Mofos.
Mofos.
Hot Sauce Sports, Rouge du Nord.
Can't pick it. Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
Hot Sauce Sports.
The Heartbreak Kids, Balls Deep.
Heartbreak Kids.
Who's Balls Deep?
Don't try to remember
Balls
who
Deep.
everyone is,
Yeah,
man.
Balls
It's
Deep.
impossible.
Balls
Les
Deep.
Bleus Branleurs, Bruins.
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 B7 et ses potes, Team Ethnic.
Ethnic.
I'll go Ethnic.
Bandits, Martine et Lefebvre.
Nelson.
Yeah, Marcin. Yeah.
5A, Le Speakeasy, Ballers.
Ballers.
Ice Up, Menace to Sobriety.
Ice Up.
Ice up.
Backwoods Football Club, Red Knotskins.
I'll go Red Skins.
Who's saying not? Why is it in quotation?
I know. I don't
Backwards.
Tokyo Sandblasters, Him University.
know why. University.
Rico Riders, Save the Turf Trolls.
Saved.
Big Fat Bats, Tip Top
Wait,
Shape.
you give me
I
big.
said save.
Oh, okay,
I
sorry.
said save.
Big Fat Bats, Tip Top Shape.
Bats.
BFB.
West Island Boys, No Friend Zone.
West Island Boys.
Can't pick it. It's
Uh,
me.
Oh,
I'm no friend zone.
well, it looks like you'd be no win zone.
Practice Squad 5, The Process.
The process.
Yeah, the process.
Clinkers, Glory Boys.
I'll go Glory Boys.
Glory Boys.
5B, Blues, Team Sexy.
I'll go
Blur.
Team Sexy.
Sexy.
No, it is blue.
Wolf, Killer Rays.
Killer Race.
Raise.
Warriors, Vic in a Box.
Warriors.
Stormers, Him You.
Stormers.
Stormers.
Bulldogs, Ball So Hard You.
Also hard you.
Bulldogs.
Penetrators, Cover 3.
Penetrators.
because you know their coverage.
Pocket Rockets, Brewers.
You know what, Brewers? Let's
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
Bru-
Let's
I
go,
like,
Brewers.
I like Brewers this season. Yeah, Brewers.
Primetime, Red Dragons.
Prime time.
I'll go Red Dragons.
Green Monster, Primal.
Nicolas Cage.
Ooh, that one's good. Primal. He went Nicolas Cage.
Okay. Les Bleus Dry, no pun intended.
No pun intended.
I'll go with the beer.
All right, Division 6, Seatown Spice, X-Men.
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 Dewey's Molasses, Practice Squad.
I'll go Molasses.
Molasses.
Pigeons, Mountain Dew Babies.
Pigeons.
Pigeons.
Texas Chooches, Slippery Slopes.
I'll go
Chooches.
slippery. Yeah, cooches. Chooch.
Bananas, No Fly Zone.
Sorry?
Bananas, No Fly Zone.
Bananas.
No fly zone.
Win Diesel Demons.
Demons.
Vin Diesel.
The Habibis, Gyprock State University.
That'd be
Just Rock State. No, wait, no. They lost.
Habibis.
They're not them. The BBs.
Towers FT, Why So Serious?
Give me why so serious.
Towers.
Toon Squad Fiddlers.
Toon Squad.
I'll go Fiddlers by 1 point.
Threat Level Midnight, top 6. Top G, sorry.
TLM.
Yeah, top G.
Montreal Red Blacks, Dime Squad.
Red Black.
Yeah, I'll go Red Black.
All right, 35 plus.
Oh my God.
Monster Rainmakers.
Monster.
Rainmakers.
Monster.
Pacemakers, Gladiator.
Pacemakers. I just
Pace,
choose makers.
Pace.
FPF, Polvige.
FPF.
JMJ, Paramount.
JMJ.
Paramount.
Coed 1, Power Rangers, Ballbusters.
Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers.
Easy Fun, Northern Braves.
Northern Braves.
Braves.
Fast Not Furious, The Funny Club.
Funny Club.
Funny Club.
Kiss My Outlaws, Les Petits Fuck.
Kiss My Outlaws.
Outlaws.
Girl Scouts, Justice League.
Justice League.
Justice League.
Party Mix, Free Smoke.
I was about to say Free Smoke. Party Mix.
Free Smoke.
Coed 2, Fightin' Tigers, Kiss My End Zone.
Can't
End
pick
Zone.
it. Can't pick it.
Flamingos, Benchwarmers.
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 Fit Squad, The Villains.
Ooh, Fit Squad.
Fit Squad.
Deep Balls, The IG Team.
Yeah, it's close to IG Team.
IG team.
Team Rocket, Flashbang Team.
Flashbang.
Rocket.
Fireball, Badgers.
I'll go Badgers.
Badgers.
Coed 3, Sneaky Snakes, Canicule.
Sneaky.
Sneaky Snakes.
La Secte, Michael Scott's Talk.
Sect
La
4-0.
Sect,
Let's
baby.
do it.
4-0.
Paquer, Fast Not Furious 3.
Fast Not Furious.
Yeah, I'll go Fast and Furious 3.
Women's 1, Stars, Ukituar, Les Bleus.
Les Bleus.
Les Bleus.
Les Bleus, Montreal U.
Montreal.
Les Bleus.
Bleu Pou, Drut.
Bleu Pou.
Le Pou.
Bees, Stars.
I picked against Sarah Parker. I'm picking now for Sarah Parker. Bees.
Bees.
She should win.
Vortex, Ghosted.
Vortex.
Vortex.
Fleur du Lis, Fit Squad.
I'll go
Fleur
Fleur de Lis.
And last ones, the women's 2, Steelers, Les Petits Miettes.
I'll go Petit Miette.
Miet.
We have Les Loups and Wolfpack.
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 And Wildcats, Extreme Bullets.
Extreme Bullets, baby.
I will go Wildcats.
Okay.
Woo!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, there's a lot to do. No.
Honestly, it's not even that bad.
I
Because
know.
if you do 13 divisions at 10 minutes each, that's at least 2 hours. At 50 minutes, we're at 3 hours, and
But
we're
I'm
at
trying
3
to time
hours.
15 minutes, and then I realized that's way too long.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Like, if you guys have suggestions, yell them at me. Send me your hate mail. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Use
They
the
love
timestamps
it.
in the video to jump forward to your segments.
You see why
Yeah.
they hated me at producer last week?
No, it was all
I
right.
had no timestamps.
Oh, yeah, no time. Well, okay. At least there's that. Look, I want to thank you guys for following the show. Winter's a behemoth. We might need to do something different in future seasons because this is not sustainable.
No.
Because, like, here's the thing. FPF, like, kind of dipped during COVID. We lost some teams. But everyone seems to come back. Like, FPF's bigger and better than ever. We're going to keep growing. That means we can't keep working more and more and more. At some point, we're going to break.
Or can we?
I don't think it's possible anymore. Honestly, Iggy and I are very close to being burnt out as it is with the other tasks we have to do. Please continue to consume our content. We got some great stuff coming up on Instagram in the next couple of weeks. We have some great stuff coming in the articles. We have a new article this week with the recaps. It'll be small to start, but it's going to grow with each week, I believe. Eagle, thank you for everything you've done today.
For not listening.
Yeah, you know what? F off. You don't get thanked.
Coward.
You're a coward. You're a coward. You don't even listen because you're cowardly.
At least I know what a bullet is.
Iggy, thank you for everything you've done today. Thank you for at least paying attention. It's really important to me.
It's the least I can do.
But most of all, I want to thank you all for letting me be myself.
Place up.